Hello and welcome to Dicebreakers, a D&D podcast and stream with mostly accurate rules and inconsistent character voices. I'm Greg, and your host and GM for today, and with me are Joe and Simon. How are you guys doing? It was a flawless intro.
I are too good, Thank.
Yeah.
Me well.
Awesome. Off to a good start. Do we both know what we're doing today?
No, please tell us.
Backstory Artificer, you just told us.
Yeah.
No, please tell us for the benefit of the podcast. We don't know. Please explain.
So, this is welcome to DBDnD, a non-expositional podcast. There will be no explanation given of anything.
Yep. We just start doing things. No, Backstory Artificer is a show that I hosted on my own Backstory Artificer channel 2-ish years ago. Essentially what we do is we quickly come up with a character concept. Doesn't have to be related to D&D or anything at all. It just kind of has to fit within the theme that we decided for that week. And then for the back half of that, we interact with or the host, who is me today, has an interviewer that is essentially in some odd situation with these characters that have been created. And we learn a little bit more about them through improv and, you know, some little world building stuff here and there. It's real loosey-goosey. It's just there's no world to adhere to. You just kind of say things and then that becomes canon. And it's a good time.
You mean like I do every week?
Exactly, yeah. Except now Alex isn't here to get mad at you.
Almost like we control.
It was an
reality.
AR-15. Oh.
Exactly. See, it was an important conversation to have beforehand. It wasn't just off the cuff.
Okay.
Also,
Greg's been
Sword was an
inceptioning us
AR-15.
this whole time.
Two
The
things
sword
were
was an
said?
AR-15, and
It was an AR-15.
I said you've been inceptioning us this whole time.
Exactly, yeah, the world is closing in around me, it's folding in, and it's
Cue-
real and not fake.
Cue horn sound.
Honk.
What are these? Oh no, that's incredible. It's more of a broadsword than a
Yeah.
longsword. Yeah.
It's not even that
Anyways.
broad.
The theme for today is looks can be deceiving, or don't judge a book by its cover, etc., etc. Essentially means make a character that appears one way but is definitely not that way in practice, because it's fun to do this. This music is not appropriate. So, since you're both here, you both have to come up with a character. Here to help. We can bounce ideas off each other. We're not on our own in this.
Are we doing this in D&D Beyond, or?
No, it doesn't have to be tied to D&D in any way. Just we make a concept.
Can I start us off with a concept that already exists?
Sure. Yeah.
So this isn't my first character. Just something that I think is a good example of this that people are familiar with, being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of which then translates into, you know, most superheroes with secret identities, like the mild-mannered, but, you know, well-respected academic, for all intents and purposes, hiding a darker side of the very violent, brutal, vigilante-esque. You know, obviously darker than that for Jekyll and Hyde, lighter than that, presumably for superhero stuff. That kind of it's the duality of it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's the first thing that comes into my mind when I hear like something about a character where looks can be deceiving, because it's not necessarily something that they're hiding because they want to hide it. Like,
True. Yeah.
just something that is.
Just the way they are.
Jekyll.
Oh. You're cutting out.
Yeah, you have become a series of unconnected syllables. Simon.
Morse code.
Can you hear me now? I'm better?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
A little bit.
You missed it. Clearly, my computer objected to my pun and censored me. I said that you might not be hiding it. You might also be jackling it.
I like it.
So
Good.
Yeah.
I'll give it a rating of a B. Grade of a B? Rating of a B? Grade of a B. E out of A. Anyways, I believe the way that we had initiated it before, just to kind of get the ball moving, was to think about it in like D&D character building terms, just because it's easiest to get started with. So, like, what do they look like? What do they do? What like, are they a student? Are they working in something? It's stuff like that. So, do either of you have ideas of just generally what they may look like what their race may be, etc., etc.?
Are we going with one character and then the other, or like?
Bounce ideas, because one person may be inspired by the other. Just got to keep in mind who yours is. It helps to keep like bullet point notes as well, if you got a place to do so.
Sorry, remind me what the theme is precisely.
Oh god, what was the phrase? I forget.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Appearance does not necessarily correlate to who they are, or is in direct opposition to who they are, even.
Okay. I'll go first then.
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Sure.
So human.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular old pasty face, 2 legs, walking around.
Norm L man.
And I'm gonna borrow from.
How dare you come to me like this? Pasty face, 2 legs.
I'll borrow from a couple of different tropes here.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of like, probably younger. We'll go with like a child kind of thing. And if we're D&Difying it, they're just kind of like regular, kind of, you know, want to be an adventurer, want to go out on adventures and fight monsters, etc.
All right.
Fighter as class.
Sure.
Echo Knight, and so the thing that they project, rather than being like a copy of themselves, is some kind of like demonic spirit. You know, think a cross between a kind of a Naruto style, he has the powers of the demon, with like the girls from The Shining, you know, that kind of, or like The Ring.
Like if Bruce Banner didn't turn into the Hulk, he just like astral projected the Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking of the kid superhero from it's that Amazon superhero show.
Oh, Invincible.
Invincible. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking of?
It's Monster Girl, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's literally just a name. She turns into a monster.
Yeah. I'm thinking that kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
because
not
so
physical.
with looks can be deceiving. To me it implies an opposite. Like, it doesn't have to be. It could just be, you know, it could be anything. But to me it implies an opposite. So you've got the kind of the sweet, unassuming, kind of very happy-go-lucky, you know, child who wants to go out and kill a dragon, with the thing of, you know, it could be their imaginary friend, or, you know, this kind of horrible demonic possession, or, you know, some secret that they're not, you know, that they hide, that they're not actually a kind of a sweet, happy-go-lucky child. You know, that is what then manifests and does all of this brutal, horrific fighting and damage and stuff, and then keeps the kind of the vessel safe.
It reminds me of I was reading about the Sentry. I don't know if you're aware of.
Oh, yeah,
the Marvel
from
character.
Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Who like splits into his like super good half and his super bad half.
Yeah, the Sentry and the Void, I think.
And the Void, yeah.
Yeah.
That are, well, unclear if it is 2 clones of him, or if he is both, or if he is projecting.
It's probably been done each way, to be honest. But yeah, that kind of opposition is what kind of jumps out at me when it's something that is being hidden or deceiving.
I like that. Yeah, it's always more dynamic when it's in direct opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be something that is necessarily willfully hidden.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
In your mind, is the child aware of the monster?
I think yes, but not.
Like, are they calling upon the monster to do the fighting for them, or does it like involuntarily happen?
I kind of imagine it as being like it just kind of happens, and they're like, "Oh, hi, I'm Tom, and this is my best friend Toby. Come and say hello, Toby."
Toby.
And it's this kind of horrendous figure, but is actually like.
Oh, like a kind of
Not-
imaginary friend situation.
Yeah, it doesn't not even necessarily under the control of the child, in as much as obviously out of game we know that the player is controlling both, child and monster, and saying, do this, do that, do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd be able to role play it as it not necessarily doing that, like
Two separate
it's the
characters,
same as-
essentially.
Well, I was going to say
yeah,
you
the
might.
same as you might with, say, find familiar, of if you're role playing that it's not a super obedient familiar type of thing.
I was thinking you could. I mean, you could gamify it further in like a D&D campaign where whenever the monster is out, to kind of make your control of the monster slightly more tenuous, of like roll a D6, and if it's above 3 you get to control the character, and then if it's 1, 2 or 3 then there are like 3 preset things that it can do.
Yeah,
like it could just run away, it could attack your party, it could, like, I don't know, something else.
Well, we
Rampage.
Funnily enough, link to campaign 2 where we left off. Greg currently has a spell cast with what the old kind of summon spells were concentration, and if you lost concentration, it wasn't that the thing you summoned just disappeared, it was that you lost control of it, and had you, say, mistreated it, or if it just didn't like you, then it's going to attack you. And yeah, I quite like that. It's the kind of the unpredictability of like wild magic, that kind of thing, where most of the time you would hope it's going to be a beneficial thing, but that kind of edge case where it just adds a little bit of extra. And I believe with Echo Knight, I'm just looking it up now. Yes, there is no limit on the number of Echo Knight and the number of times in a day that you can summon your Echo.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, for the role play, just keep summoning it. Like, it goes in and out and in and out. And it could be a thing of, when you're not in combat, the DM controls, Toby the demon's just wandering about and won't go away.
Kind of like Melon, how you can just pop out when he wants to.
Yeah. It could be
Except
that
a little bigger and
you're
scarier.
If Melon was slightly more destructive and terrifying, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless things have drastically changed.
You've gone into a tavern and you're trying to get you're trying to get information, and you're trying to do persuasion check as this sweet little kind of person.
It doesn't
and then
work.
The DM is rolling a D100 behind the screen and goes, Toby comes out, everyone shits themselves, and the guards start surrounding the tavern. That kind of thing.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, before we get too far into Tony and Toby. Yeah, Toby the demon. What about Simon's character? Who do you think we're looking at?
I don't know for sure, but I was just thinking that, I mean, my characters are kind of inherently slightly comedic all the time, anyway. And I feel like this prompt lends itself to comedy, but I also don't know whether I don't know if I could do one that was just like a serious, just deception-y kind of.
If you wanted to try it, this is the kind of situation to try it in.
But you're absolutely right. I think the looks can be deceiving thing can always.
Like my immediate thought. Well, I had 2 immediate thoughts, but one of them was, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this to Greg several times before, at some point. But one of the old campaigns that I did at uni was a comedy campaign where everyone created kind of typical D&D characters, and then at the start of the first session, the DM said basically the backstory was like a wizard somewhere in the realm has cast a spell that has swapped everyone's personalities over. So all of us basically moved our character sheet 1 to the left
I
and kept our personalities.
like that. Yeah.
So the looks can be can be deceiving that I thought of immediately was we had a barbarian who was also an accountant.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had like the kind of backstory that we ended up with was like that they'd come from a long line of accountants, and but then had just like for whatever reason had just grown to just monstrous proportions, but still wanted to be an accountant, but like was physiologically a barbarian.
Yeah.
But then
Carry on the family
I also
legacy,
thought
but also
then the
lift.
Yeah, exactly. It would be useful for lifting stacks of paper, I guess, and typewriters.
Big calculators.
Yeah, big. Well, abacuses, it's huge stone abacuses. But no, but my other thought was like kind of meta, I guess, but like looks can be deceiving in like playing a rogue character, or like playing a character who clearly looks like they have something suspicious going on, but they don't.
Yeah.
They're just very earnestly.
Painfully normal.
They just look shifty.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
But they're just there's nothing going on. They just that's just the way that they talk, and like they're just a person.
There's an NPC in the first campaign of Critical Role, and I can't remember the name of the character, but he's like the NPC who helps the party when they go to, I think it's the Plane of Fire, and he has that kind of like similar voice of he's like, yes, I'm going to help you now, and all I'd like for you to do is just this favor, and take this box to this city and plant it under this tree for me. Won't you? It's that kind of thing, and they all like they don't really have much of a choice, so they agree, and then like they have to do it, and the whole time they're like, this box is gonna fucking blow up.
Yeah.
What are we bringing? And it is just that this guy wants to like bury his wife's ashes at this tree. He's just like he's just a creepy kind of vibe NPC, and so everyone is like, what the fuck is this?
How's this guy gonna fuck us over? There's something going on.
Yeah. I know. I love that idea, Simon.
I kind of like the idea that they're just a perfectly normal person who happens to have been born with a creepy voice, but like because of that, nobody in their life trusts them, and they've been like exiled from all of the like towns that they've tried to settle in and stuff, and so they just inherently ended up being with whatever the adventuring party is because it's the most convenient way for them to like live life without being like ostracized because they've got a creepy voice.
Because that's great. Because so with the looks can be deceiving. So if it's unintentional, like what you're describing, is fantastic. Or also if it's done badly. For example, Mark's character in the temporary adventure that we did, he was his character, I think it was Cecil, was mechanically a warlock who, would Eldritch Blast and, summoned his like sword and, the classic kind of obviously skill set, but role played it as his father was a barbarian. His father was a barbarian. That whole line of accountants thing that you talked about. It was that kind of thing, but for barbarians. And so he was like, yes, I'm a barbarian. I'm a mighty warrior. And so I'm clearly the strongest person here. Made all the more funny by the fact that there was a kind of classic cut and dry barbarian in the group. Oh, and it was that whole thing of then, people just assume the whole party's made of barbarians, including the small.
I just remembered what my character was for that set. I just remember what my character was for that campaign of SWAT, which was my
Mr. Ed.
They were
Mr. Ed or Mr. Big.
No. Oh well, there was that, but no. For the comedy campaign I was talking about with the accountants, etc. My character was a magician, but like just a magician, like
a street magician, like
does children's parties magician. I think he was a warlock, and he had his like big ultimate ability that he could only use once for like long rest or whatever was that he would reach it. He had a top hat, and he would reach into his top hat and pull out Laparoth, Destroyer of Worlds, which is an enormous white rabbit. But he wasn't a mage. He was just a magician. He had a top hat that he had found, and he was a children's party magician.
Wonderful.
That's great. That reminds me that there's a great joke. Oh, sorry. This is slightly tangential. There's a great joke in Now You See Me 2, where the latest Horseman joins, and like every so often throughout the film, people are like, "Aren't you that girl that pulled the top hat out of a rabbit that one time?" And she's like, "Yeah, it was a long time ago. Like, just move past it."
I don't think anyone can move past that.
God.
Do we want to go with the rogue with the creepy voice? Is that...
I think so.
I love that.
I don't know if they're a rogue
Great.
or a warlock. It could be either, I guess.
It's all right. Like, what do they look like? What race and whatnot? Are they human? Are they more bestial race?
Oh, I mean, because obviously you could go with like the obvious, like, I don't know. There are races that are inherently like kind of weird and creepy, aren't there? I'm trying to think of the Gith, whatever.
Bugbears are
pretty
creepy.
Gith are
a bit weird.
creepy.
Yeah. Gith are
But
very
equally,
creepy.
it could just be like, it could. But then, like, if you want to subvert expectations, you kind of want it to be a race that is kind of normal, and this person just happens to be kind of aberrant.
I guess,
So I don't know,
it depends on how much you're playing into it, because you could go again with. I feel like when something's being hidden or there's some kind of reveal, I feel like human is always kind of like the default go-to because it's
True.
standard.
I guess you could say. I mean,
you could also go with like a goblin or something, being like, yes, look at the pretty things, and he's just, he's got an appreciation.
He's
for
an
fine
antique
art.
stealer, yeah.
It really depends on how much you want to lean into the initial appearance that you'd expect people to pick up of that creepiness.
Yeah.
Or...
That's
And
true. Yeah.
Whether or not it's kind of the slow burn or not of that kind of thing.
You want them to just generally be unsettling for a while. Just...
Yeah.
One of the most unsettling things I can think of as far as roleplay was one of Dimension 20's characters. They had a weasel rogue that was just like tall and lanky and huge hunched over back, and it was just like the sweetest character in the whole bunch at the end of the day. They're just quiet and don't talk much and have a very imposing presence. It was great. Good time.
Yeah, I think I probably will go with a traditionally creepy / evil race, I guess.
Alright.
I don't know.
I found the name of that NPC. It was Senekir. It was a Fire Genasi jeweler. Who was the one that they thought was like super creepy, but actually just wanted to like bury his wife's ashes.
Yeah, they found him in like a weird side alley in the Iron City or something like that.
Yeah.
And just like, hello, can you?
Yeah, put on these chains and pretend to be my slaves. And he's actually just like helping them through the sea.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could just go with like Tiefling or something, which is kind of
one of the.
I quite enjoy Tiefling as like the idea of the standard like edgy rogue. But like playing into the kind of edgy, creepy loner type. But they're actually just really nice.
Want to go with Tiefling, creepy teeth?
Yeah.
Let's go with creepy teeth. Yeah.
All right, creepy teeth. Cool. Okay, so after that, kind of consider like what are they doing in the world? So like as far as the child and demon Toby, like is Toby or what's the?
So it was
let's start with names.
Tom was the name of the kid, and Toby was the name of the demon.
Tommy and Toby.
Tom and Toby.
Yeah.
Okay. Tommy and Toby. Cool. What's the name of the creepy teeth?
I don't know. It's got to be something really, like, it's got to be a creepy name as well.
Yeah.
Oh, tieflings. In like, if you're going by the suggestions, don't they often have names after like feelings or attributes or something? So you might get like opportunity is the name of a tiefling. So you could go with like misery. Or something like
that. Oh yeah, virtue names. Carrion.
Sabotage the tiefling.
Please call me Carrie.
Oh, Carrie. Oh.
We
I think we want to go
with
with Carrion. That's too good. Although I kind of
I love it.
I kind of oh no, like I kind of want him to be like an Aarakocra, but like a vulture Aarakocra.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
hell yeah.
Yeah. Because then you also get the hunch and the kind of
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm kind of imagining the vultures.
Your mic is gone again, mate.
Yep.
Oh, can you? Hello.
It's going.
It just keeps going in and out.
Yeah.
It's very robot-y.
Vulture Aarakocra. I'm not going to concern myself with how I spelled that.
Say, 3 points to you if you spell it correctly.
Aaracokra. You're still. What's it doing? What's the mics doing? That's really good though. A Vulture Aarakocra named Carrion. That's wonderful.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's why I love this show. Hello. Got dream music playing right now. Kalimba relaxation music. That's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
That
Sound great.
Yay! I just turned my headset on and off again, and then changed it in settings. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some shit.
That's good. Yeah.
I was kind of imagining the Beatles vultures from the Jungle Book,
Yes.
like with the,
yeah.
with the like shaggy hair and the like.
I love it. Okay, so we've got Tommy and Toby, and then we got Carrion. That's wonderful. All right. What's Tommy and Toby doing in the world? They students? Or are they like ostracized for that kind of thing? Like what's going on there?
What age of child are we talking?
Yeah.
Well, see, I had been originally thinking something like quite young to play into the whole creepy child stereotype, but actually, I think because the kind of the echo demonic thing is the creepiness, they don't actually necessarily have to be that young. It could just be that they just don't understand why everyone else hates Toby.
I mean, I guess you could go with like an 11-year-old boy who's like obsessed with like knights and dragons and adventuring and like is treating everything like a kind of storybook, I guess.
Yeah, I know, I like that.
It just fully isn't
he's like
doesn't understand the consequences of like actually like ripping people to shreds with the giant demon thing.
Yeah, he's like a brand new squire. He's just been inspired, and he's traveling to the estate where he's going to be doing his like
background
apprenticeship to the Lord.
I was going to say, yeah, no. Background is that he is either he is in training to be, or he's going to be in training to be like a paladin.
Yeah,
but he won't be because he's got like clearly he's a warlock already. He's got like a demonic bond. Like nobody is seriously going to take this child on as a paladin.
It's the most literal version of the Haunted One background I have ever seen.
yeah, a little bit.
But right. I mean, yeah, depends. I guess I'm interested to know where you would be going with Tommy and Toby's relationship, as to whether Tommy considers Toby to be like an invisible friend who he's friends with and doesn't understand why nobody else likes Toby, or whether it's like this weird creepy thing that's possessing and haunting him and he doesn't realize. Yeah,
no, I think it'd be interesting. I think if this was a character I was going to play in a game, I think I would leave that up to DM discretion of where it actually comes from, of like is it something that is like kind of like latched onto his soul and slowly killing him, even if that doesn't necessarily be if that isn't on purpose. But yeah, I think that kind of thing I would leave to DM discretion as to kind of what the origin of it is. I think in terms of the relationship between them, I think if we're going with what I mentioned earlier, of the GM has a lot of say in the outside of combat, the actions and kind of appearances of Toby, I think it would be quite brotherly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It puts me in mind a little bit of
Or in like a kind of older, like a big protective older brother sort of.
yeah, potentially.
thing.
It puts me in mind a little bit actually of and sorry, again back to Critical Role. And of course, because I had this idea first, I'm going to sue them. Cough, if people know what I'm talking about. With Opal. So I believe that she's a Hexblade Warlock, where her patron is her twin sister or something. I actually haven't finished watching through the series. So Abria as DM voices the sister, and they have
that's cool.
kind of telepathic conversations. And if she's annoyed with Opal, she cuts off the powers and stuff like that. Over like
that's cool.
Over like sibling spats and stuff.
I was just thinking about it.
I enjoy that kind of relationship.
I was thinking about it in terms of like that Tommy's like completely like in awe of his, I guess, older brother or whatever. And the like Toby like comes out like there's some sort of like skirmish or whatever, and Toby like kind of rips out of Tommy's body and like kind of picks up these like, I don't know, barbarians or whatever, and like tears them to shreds or whatever, and Tommy's just like, oh my god, that's so cool, like fully doesn't understand the consequences of like people dying, but is like, oh awesome, action hero, like my brother's so cool, like
because there's, I guess it would depend, and again fleshing out the backstory would be, how much of kind of this kind of entity doing that kind of thing has Tom seen before. Like, is it that he just thinks that he's an imaginary friend and he's manifested and stuff, and they've played or spent time together, and then he rips someone to pieces in front of him? Or is it that he has no idea that this thing exists, and then upon it protecting him, feels this kind of very close bond? What do you guys think of those kind of two? Because that's two very different avenues to go down in terms of what would immediately happen next and where their relationship would go.
I really like he knows about him part and kind of admires him, because it makes it it makes it a little unhinged, and I like that.
I was thinking, because I just kind of backstory that I've just kind of, I don't know, somehow kind of organically developed in my head for this character is like that he did have an older brother who was like a knight or a paladin or something, who then died, and then his like latent magical abilities manifested, and he kind of manifested this imaginary friend version of his older brother to protect him, and
it
therefore
ties so powerful that it
not
becomes
like actually his brother, but like his like idealized image of his older brother protecting him and stuff.
Well, what you could do there is you could do
I got like goosebumps off that.
Looks can be deceiving twofold. Turn it back on itself. He sees
his older brother,
horrible demonic thing, as this very kind of noble, handsome, kind of almost like, if he's quite young when this happens, older looking version of himself, someone who looks very like him, and that he talks to, and they bond. But everyone else sees this 6-armed, 8-legged, kind of twisted,
6 arms, 8-legged,
and it could be
it's a centipede,
and that could then be something that you reveal then later, because it could, you don't have to, as if you're role playing, you don't have to be like, oh, but he's so like handsome and he's such a good knight. You can choose your words very carefully, and then it also could be, oh, why do you?
It's also a looks can be deceiving. It's another layer of looks can be deceiving, because presumably up until the point where it's revealed that he sees this as like a handsome young man or whatever, everyone assumes that this is a really fucking creepy kid who's like thinks that this huge like hulking multi-limbed monster is handsome and brave and powerful and whatever, and actually it turns out that he's totally not seeing. He's just
Oh, I really like that, Simon.
That's wonderful. Let's let that ruminate for a bit and hop back to Carrion.
Starts right now, boys. New character. Alex, when you listen to this.
Oh, okay, Alex. I know you're watching and going, ha 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 ha. I was right. It would be fun for everyone. Yeah, you're right. Everyone's loving making characters on the spot. What about Carrion though? What's Carrion doing in the world today?
I mean, I really I just had I wanna reverse on the vulture thing and make him a magpie, and then he's like a like artifact dealer or antique dealer or something, and he's constantly like, oh, my precious shinies, and like it's just because he's a magpie and he likes shiny things.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I like that.
Whatever you
And
want
he's
to
not
do.
like, he seems like this kind of one of those like greedy, sleazy like traders who you help out on a quest and it turns out that they were behind it the whole time, whatever. It's like that, but actually he just likes shiny things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
I like that too. Oh, I don't know, because I don't know. I feel like I've invented two characters and I don't know which one I like more. I think I like the magpie more, but I don't know.
Okay, let's go with magpie.
I enjoy that as well, because with them being A, kind of magpie-like, and B, a rogue, where it's kind of got the meta stereotype that, you know, working with UTM,
Yeah.
this could be in the world of people who look and act a certain way or have certain abilities could be stereotyped to, oh, well, you're always going to steal everything, all of that. And you could have a thing where every merchant that you interact with starts off a conversation with something like, I'm not going to haggle and I'm keeping an eye on you. And you're just like, or you always offer a fair price. You never barter. You always pay like 5 gold more, you know.
Well, would you say
then
that
it's also like-
magpies may have sticky feathers?
God. And then there's also another, like, there will be at least one point in the campaign where like a burglary or a robbery occurs, and every time that happens, they just assume that it's carrion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, did you take it again? And like, he has never taken anything. If he's ever paid something, if he's ever taken something he's paid for it, he's probably paid slightly more than the price because he appreciates the difficulty that merchants have in this economic climate or whatever.
Okay, I love
And like
this.
every time something goes missing, they're like, Karen, did you really just take that again? Like, he doesn't have kleptomania.
Yeah.
That's great.
He just likes to buy nice and shiny things for him.
I just like shiny things.
Yeah.
And it's not creepy that he sits on his own in his bedroom and polishes his shiny things every evening. He just wants to keep them in mint condition, but he's like, yes, my shinies.
Like he's got no sense of tune, so he just like whistles and sings to himself, and it's really discordant. But actually, he just, you know, likes being like.
It's kind of a slightly more mundane version of. Actually, I guess they both are of the TF2 pyro video of him burning his victims alive versus him like dancing through Candyland or whatever. They both are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Carrion's definitely a collector and keeps things in their original packaging.
Oh, you know he does. He buys several of items so that he can open one and have one in the pristine packaging.
That would be even better, because he could have like a bag or a chest or something that, you know, you mention and you kind of drop into conversation every now and then of, oh, you know, he's making sure that this bag is kept locked safe, you know, before bed, you know, just goes, checks over his bag, and as soon as anyone in the party mentions it, he's like, no, you can't look in there, because he doesn't want his mint condition stuff taken out.
He's like,
That's incredible.
he's like, no, you can't look in the chest. You can't look in the chest. And like, it's because he's with this band of like disgusting, dirty, sweaty adventurers, and he doesn't want to get his lovely shinies messed up. And he's like, what he actually means is, really, you need to like have a bath and wash your hands, and then maybe if you ask nicely, I'll show you the nice things I've got in the chest.
He's just really bad at communicating with other people, but he has good intentions, 100%.
Charisma 8.
Is Carrion like a full-time adventure, or like is there a day job situation, or?
Well, I think this is the thing, is I think he really, maybe he's failed merchant background, that he really wants to be an antiques dealer. But
no one does business with him.
He always wants to be selling stuff, but nobody wants to buy things from him because they think they're going to be like a cursed necklace or something.
Yeah.
So like he's going from place to place with this party because he can never really stay in one place for more than a few days because people accuse him of stealing, and he's
Yeah.
trying to sell them things, but they're like, "No, I'm good, thanks. I
That's great.
don't want
Yeah,
the creepy necklace, thanks."
People use like
20% discount.
pence for stolen objects.
Yes. Yeah, and because he's going from place to place now, wherever he goes, he gets accused of stealing. He's building this reputation of like black
A master
market
criminal,
dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the black market dealer's in town. Oh, yeah, it's just a magpie over there.
Occasionally people come up to him and they're like, "Hey, have you got the goods?" And he's like, "Well, yes, I have this lovely range of I don't know,
Necklaces.
plates
You
and
could-
forks and
You could even build into it. Again, from the looks can be deceiving of it, with him looking like a magpie. Greg, I don't know if you have this in the States. Over here, there's like a superstition around magpies of if you see
oh yeah,
one or a certain number of them together, you have to salute them or
or
do
say good
certain
morning,
things.
whatever.
Yeah. So you
And people
can
say
do
good morning
that
to him
kind of
all the
thing.
time, and he's just like,
Yeah, people
good
being
morning,
like
yeah.
good morning and then like rushing away because they don't want to be cursed by the magpie or that kind of thing. Or
That's
that could be how
beautiful.
people try and do like its own little like thieves' cant could evolve around this new master like dealer,
Yeah.
like black market dealer, where people are coming up to him and being like, "Good morning."
I love it. Okay. Oh,
And
so
I guess because presumably the party would be successful in their campaign, he would be growing gradually richer anyway. So people will be
Yeah.
like, "Wow, he's a really good salesman. Like, how's he doing this? Like, he always
still
managed to get
hasn't
away
sold
with these."
anything.
Yeah. And he's like, "God, one day my antique store will get off the ground."
So is Carrion capable of defending himself, or is he just a merchant that's trying to get along somewhere?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good one. So what in terms of like a subclass as
But
well?
is
what
he a
would you
rogue or
be
is he just a
looking to do?
bad bard?
It doesn't have to be attached to D&D at all, so it could be whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a class at
That's
all.
true. just an NPC who's just
Yeah, just the cabbage man from Avatar.
yes. Oh.
Everybody pay respects to the cabbage man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what would lend itself. I guess in terms of like D&D, I'm just gonna double check something because I believe that this would also tie in with what you're doing with it. Here we go. 13th level ability of the Thief subclass is you've learned enough about the workings of magic that you can improvise the use of items even when they're not intended for you. You ignore all class, race, and level requirements on the use of magic items. So you're then able to use all the stuff that you've collected
Oh.
that you previously couldn't and were just you like the look of it.
Oh.
Because the rest of their subclass abilities are things like being able to use an item as a bonus action, or being able to climb faster than normal.
They are
or
very much the
advantage on-
MacGyver. The MacGyver.
Yeah,
Oh,
advantage
so I
on
like that.
stealth
Up
checks,
until
kind of thing.
like we're kind of meeting this character at like 13th level, and up until this point, he's been using all of the stealth and kind of like dexterity based skills of thieves to like, and whenever he's in in combat, he's just managed to get away unscathed because he's just very dexterous. And then at like level 13, I guess he suddenly realizes that all of these items that he's been collecting because they're just really nice and pretty, he realizes that actually they're super powerful magical devices.
Sets off a nuke in the next battle.
So, yeah, bandits attack, bonus action hide. Next turn, stands up, staff of power, robe of the archmage, pendant that summons a dragon.
I do like
Are you
this.
just
actually.
carrying around 3 artifacts on you at all times?
And he's like, yeah, well, it was limited edition.
Oh.
so-
Here's a thought then. To take it outside of, you could either do it as a second class, and it kind of ties into mechanically the kind of Tom and Toby thing. You could role play like, obviously having oh no, here you go, easy peasy. So you'd be kind of like gimping yourself a little bit in terms of power, like combat optimization, that kind of thing. Battlesmith Artificer. You get all the stuff with magic items. You can create your own shinies. You get proficiency with tools, jeweler's kit, stuff like that. And in combat, you just hide and occasionally throw out the occasional spell that you think might be helpful, flavored as an item that you picked up or whatever. And your Steel Defender is really where the bulk of your like combat stuff lies. But ordinarily, it's your like cart. Or it's
the luggage.
The Terry Pratchett?
The
Terry
luggage.
Pratchett's like luggage.
The luggage. The luggage is the best character in Discord.
Or you could do it like that, and it's rather than something that you've built, could be like a pet mimic that you've befriended. You toss in your shinies, and when you want them, you just kind of reach into its mouth and pull them out. And...
It's beautiful. Okay.
I like this.
I like this a lot. Let's sit on that. Make other ideas.
Every build will be a pet build.
Yes.
Back to Tommy and Toby. This is the last thing we'll do before start worrying about the actual role play and whatnot. Relationships with either specific people or just with like people in the world. Are there any notable people in Tommy and Toby's life that they may hold a strong connection to in some sort of way that may have influenced how they are now or how they? So
I love Simon's idea of there having previously been like a brother that they were close with and died, and that's where this is kind of manifested from. Really love that. So that you're then going to have parents who maybe they changed a bit after. The brother died.
They split or something.
Yeah. Other than that, I think maybe I think maybe just like small, like kind of the classic, the young boy who wants to be a squire and wants to go out and save the damsel from small kind of town. People maybe think he's a bit weird, like teachers and that maybe think he's a bit weird from, he occasionally talks to someone that no one can see.
But everyone's generally like, oh yeah, nice kid.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, nice kid, bit strange, but it's fine. So in terms of like, in terms of that, I think it would just kind of be your general village kind of crowd of people. Well, maybe there was like a teacher who took an interest or something like that, or something. Maybe
encourage like the squireship, maybe.
Yeah, like there is like an old retired knight or like an old like bitter soldier who keeps telling him all of these really like ghastly stories, and he's just eating it up, like envisioning it as being very noble and kind of romanticizing it. And actually, this soldier's like, all these people died when this mage like threw a fireball. It was the smell of burning, and he's like, yeah. Tell me more.
Yeah. Tommy and Toby both sitting there like.
Tell me the one about where the guy got decapitated again.
And the old guy just thinks that that Toby's just like a manifestation of his own mind and trauma rather than thing that is tied to Tommy in any kind of way. Oh.
I just realized another thought for class for Carrion is Bard College of Creation.
Oh yeah, also super good.
So like, it's not that he's got magical items or like legendary items or something. It's just that he can use his like song of creation to animate his pretties.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, that's beautiful. 3 multi-classes. Why not?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want in this world.
I will say, I find it so interesting that like either going against type. Or thinking outside of the archetype of kind of what the classes are, opens up so many different options to what other classes you could play it as. Where some of the abilities might fit in like a bit weird, but that's what flavorings for. So someone who's like an antique dealer or does all of this stuff and people think is really creepy and blah. Your first thought wouldn't necessarily be a bard, but that would totally work. Like, there's no reason why that wouldn't work. You know, and then, you know, depending on kind of DM fiat, no reason why you couldn't then have like a pet mimic that has no mechanical advantage in battle or something like that, but is your kind of luggage. I think that's great.
And also, it is inherently creepy to have a giant wooden chest on lots of tiny little legs.
Yeah.
But that is just weird. And
Yeah.
It doesn't have any sinister significance. That's just a pet that he found somewhere.
You could also have the chest like occasionally like breathe and reveal really sharp teeth and just like drip drool out as it's walking.
In Discworld, it's like giant like tombstone teeth and like a massive tongue.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, what about Carrion's relationships?
I don't know that he has any, other than the luggage.
Has to come from somewhere, you know.
And I guess, well, yeah. I mean, where did he come from? Where did he go?
Yeah, how did Carrion become the way that Carrion is?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Just little things to consider that may inform our plan. Like, did he have parents that were too open with him? Like, there was no kind of preparation for the world. It just kind of gave him everything he wanted, and that's why
he's had really wholesome, unconditional, loving parents that never treated him as if he was in any way different from anyone else.
Yeah.
And therefore he just takes everyone at their word, I guess, on stuff. Like, he's just quite an honest, like,
really
nice
trustworthy
guy.
Yeah. Again, like the small town boy from a village where everyone looks like him, thinks like him, and then actually everyone else is like super judgy and like kind of racist.
This is just Carrot from Discworld.
It's also very similar to Ray.
Carrot, who's a 6'5" human raised by dwarfs who thinks he's a dwarf because everyone around him was a dwarf.
Yeah.
And then goes to the big city and everyone's confused as to why he thinks he's a dwarf and he doesn't realize. It's this, yeah. I haven't read any Pratchett in ages.
So I have a confession. I've never fully read a Discworld book.
How dare.
I started to read one when I was at school, but I think it wasn't like the first one. It was like
you shouldn't read the first one.
The series.
You shouldn't read the first one.
Don't read the first one.
They're not completely standalone in that there are kind of like series, like sub-series within the Discworld overall series, but like there isn't an overarching plot for the whole like set of books.
Kind of like a bunch of different.
It's just him developing that world. Yeah. So like there are a bunch of characters that overlap occasionally, and there are a series of like 3 or 4 or 5 books that cover the same characters in like progression in time. But yeah, and the first books are a bit weird because it's, I mean, I don't know, if you like D&D maybe you'd like them more, but it's his like awkward like D&D phase when he thinks that Discworld is basically just going to be like a standard, I guess it would be first edition D&D at that point. So it's very, very, very like archetypal D&D setting.
I need to audiobook it at some point.
But it's not great writing. But yeah, when he finally develops Ankh-Morpork as a city, that's when it kind of basically read Guards. That is, I think, the best entry
noted
book. It's a good twist on dragons.
Okay,
basically.
I'll check that out.
Well noted. Okay. Is there anything else we want to develop or mention about these characters before we go ahead and do a little RP it?
I think it would be fun to do them in Hero Forge first, so we get a better sense of...
All right. Let's do that. Give that a go. We'll take turns. You guys can take turns sharing your screen if you want to for Hero Forge.
Oh yeah, let's do it that way. So we'll do it one at a time. I should ask as well, Greg. Is there any character that you have kind of spawned in your brain as a result of kind of these conversations?
No, I've mostly been trying to think how I'm going to alter the situation that we roleplay in according to how these characters are. And how that's going to apply to my character. My interview. These are very fun conversations that
I see.
well, it's interviewer quote unquote. It's not it's not like so why do you want to work here kind of situation. No.
So do you want us to share our screens then?
Yeah, so one at a time. Let's start with Tom and Toby.
Okay.
Tom and Toby.
So I've got to find the button now. Where's Discord gone? Here we go. Share your screen. This one. Go live. That's what I want, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that done it?
Oh wait, hang on. No,
That's-
do you wait?
Hmm?
Do I have to click on the thing? Oh, I do.
Yeah, you gotta click on watch.
Aha, I see. Yeah, gotcha.
I'll
Damn, that's some
close
mutton
the
chops.
non
Can you press
yeah, so
F11 to full screen it as well?
F11.
Yeah, and
There we
then press
go.
Alt and then press F4.
No.
Oh yeah, I'll try that one afterwards. So this is what it's kind of spawned in. So this is the halfling base, I think. So
Yes.
what we're gonna want is a more slender head, I think. I don't think that is a youthful one. So,
Yeah, not really. The cheruby one is probably as close as you can really get.
that's fine. So, what are we thinking in terms of hair? Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, let's get rid of the beard because
Yeah.
he's just a young boy, and then we'll put on some regular human ears. There we go.
So much
That-
smaller than the halfling ears.
So
Oh
much
my
better.
god.
Yeah.
Wait, they've added insect head stuff
They
now.
have.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I feel cheated.
Yeah,
I didn't
it
have
was
this
like
for unit.
it was
God
soon
fucking damn it.
after you stopped playing Unit that
Yeah.
they added it.
So annoying.
Let's also just do a happier face to begin with,
Mhm.
and we'll put on some kind of basic color to begin with. Let's see, possibly creepy, so he can be a ginger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then general theme, let's just go with like a standard All Hallows weave.
All Hallows Weave.
Sure.
I like All Hallows.
God,
Weave.
the head is so huge.
It is.
Compared to-
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
got
sure,
it.
I'm not
So
sure there's a way
weird.
to...
You can shrink it under body.
That's so odd.
Oh, here we go. Softness.
Yeah.
I think that's meant to be
Yeah.
the more feminine thing, but as
Yeah.
you know,
Ah,
as a kid.
Yeah.
So body measurements.
Sure.
Oh, head.
Head. Yeah. Normal
There we
human
go.
head size. There we go.
Oh, that you're right. That is a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just from that'll change. So I think the kind of the standard halfling preset here is going to work well.
Mhm.
So let's do clothing. I believe that they added like a tabard in here. My other thing would be to go with like something like that and try and not make it look like armor.
Oh my god, it looks so oversized.
like-
It's perfect.
Where he's like dressed up.
oh bless him. Oh yeah, it's like his spy uniform. Oh
Yeah.
So that's an option. I'm sure they added like a tabard one. That's also one where it's like.
Oh yes, there it
damn
is.
son.
No shoes that nice though. You can't have shoes that shiny.
yeah.
I'm sure there's one here. The thing that I'm thinking of. I'm not going to be. Oh, here it is. You're kind of like tabard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we
that's
think of
good.
those three?
I kind
one-
of like the one that you had before this with the weird hat.
Yeah.
That's like the squire hat in my head.
It
This
just
one.
was so oversized.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Oh, that is good. Yeah.
Cool.
I just got to change the
Okay,
boots.
then.
I have to say, I do like the helmet one, but that's
It-
just. It's
The
just
helmet
good.
looks a little
I
too
mean-
fitted. I need it. I need it to
Yeah,
be
you're probably
oversized
right.
as well.
There's no way currently to change the
Yeah.
just the
helmet
thing
size
is
or-
there.
Oh
No.
oh, that's
Okay.
weird.
So feet.
There's some like normal boots or that'll work. Tavern server
Tavern
shoes.
servers. There we go. He's got little buckles.
Beautiful.
Oh,
So let's just change the color
Precious.
scheme of this to be.
How do we give him a big scary demon?
So this would be starting a new thing.
oh,
Yeah.
you'd have to make a new character for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Knights of Noir. There we go. And then I reckon that this is probably just like a leather.
Yeah. Little leather cap, skull cap.
Yeah. He's like, I want to be an adventurer.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh my god. Precious.
So he would probably have like a little
Shitty little sword.
a little wooden sword.
Yeah. Wait, the one below that. What's the one below that look like?
So that's a great sword. That's the massive
Oh,
one.
never mind.
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, actually, there
They're
are
short
knives
swords.
in here, aren't there? Short
There's-
blades.
Yeah, I was gonna
here we
say.
go.
Yeah, this is what I struggled with for Mr. Big, because Mr. Big was very small.
Oh, there we go. So let's make that wooden.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. Just while I'm here, I think there is also like a really basic wood shield. There we go.
Oh my god. He's
So color. I will just say, for anyone, I think we
Always just
do
playing
not
dressed up.
endorse. We do not endorse children being
Yeah, we do not.
fighters.
Yeah.
we do not endorse arming
Child
children.
soldiers are not endorsed by
Yeah.
DBDnD.
But at the same time, this is a child following his dreams. We do endorse
Yes.
that.
What's that? What do we think of these colors?
I like it. That's
Yeah,
the
works
good
for
wood.
me.
Good wood right there.
That's the good word.
And then
Someone quote that in chat.
No one in chat.
Yeah.
What do you think
There we
this
go.
is?
Oh.
So he's
Wait,
got like his
Harry's
little.
hiding. Hi, Harry.
We've got like his little.
Here's what now?
It's just his little like weapons and stuff.
Oh.
I actually am really pleased with how that's come together.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
think that
really
would come
good.
together quite so well. So I reckon if we stick him on like there,
Oh my
and
god.
it auto does that like hero pose.
Oh, that is so good.
What do we think, guys?
It's
like-
perfect.
Yeah, it is.
So if I
Yes.
I'll F11 out of that, duplicate it, and then we'll do Toby. So let me.
And for I just realized also podcast thing. So I'm just going to describe it real quick for the
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
podcast
Oh,
part.
whoops.
He's just
Yeah,
wearing
we'll do a
like
better
this.
job of that one.
Yeah. So Toby's wearing a little skull cap. He's a little ginger kid. Real childish face and whatnot, with a wooden sword, wooden shield, wearing a like a quilt. What is that pattern or that texture?
It's quilted,
called,
yeah.
It's called
Yeah, it's like-
it's called a gambeson, and it is like it's an actual historical like armor. It is like a
Yeah.
thick quilted
Oh, yeah.
thing. But if you're looking for it on Hero Forge, it's just down as the preset gambeson, and we've basically just changed the shoes to be like the little buckle tavern server's shoes, and then
Yeah.
we've just painted the sword to be wood rather than metal.
And he's got
Um,
these like little straps around near his ankles to hold his pants down to make sure they don't fly all
Yeah.
over the place. It's-
Oh.
So
precious child.
so let's
Now we make a
do
demon.
this. Yeah, much more monstrous.
Yay! Let's make
So,
a demon.
How monstrous do we want to go with this?
Very.
So
Troll. The
is
troll
new.
start. Yeah.
That is
is
new.
Oh, that's
trolls
good.
have tails.
That
Trolls do have tails. They do.
Apparently trolls have tails.
but
They
that's
do
an
now.
excellent start.
I hate how small the
funny
head
about
is
this
in
is-
comparison to the body.
I really enjoy that I can.
I quite like
recognize
it,
Which
yeah.
the like the preset things on this are.
Yeah.
So body.
You can add
torso,
arms.
I think is fine. I was gonna say, do we want more?
More
Yes.
arms.
All.
Always more.
All.
So
How many
No.
arms do you? Yes.
I think you can add 6 total. It was down on the other page. There was XL options at the bottom.
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How do we feel about
Is this Orc Buddha?
No. I think the arms need to be more monstrous if we can. Just like the
more monstrous?
like I think there's
Yeah.
clawed versions.
Can you make can you make the arms all different types of arms?
You can.
Or do they all?
No, you can. It just they end up looking a little bit kind of off.
Oh.
I think most of the options on here are like robot, prosthetic, or skeletal.
The skeleton one. Try the skeleton one there.
Oh yeah.
For
That's pretty
demon, I kind of like if some of them are skeletal.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, would it change if we change the torso type? It will also be able to have these, and it will change those.
Furry.
Oh, hello. Oh god.
So,
Now he
But I
just
mean,
looks
you
like he wants to give us a big bear
it
hug.
It says furry, but if you changed it to like the right color, it would presumably translate differently.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just make the fur flesh colored.
this is one. I quite like the gaunt ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like little divots.
like kind of
So,
scarred.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they've kind of had like little chunks taken out the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
There's also
Beautiful.
just damaged.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
gotta be.
yeah.
I think that's got to be.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
And then just for
Yeah.
purposes of more demon stuff, that's the insectoid one.
Sectoid arm.
I like the damage one still.
Yeah. Damaged is good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got some rippy flesh
Yeah.
arms.
In terms of tail, do we like having the kind of alligatory tail, or do we want no tail, or do we want multiple tails?
Oh, what's the one next to alligator tail? That looks cool.
So this is like an armadillo one,
Oh.
Ooh.
and we can have 9 of them.
9 tails.
Oh my god, it's the 9 tails and the 8 arms. Wait, no,
Let's-
6 arms. I can't count.
Let's do 6 tails.
I think 3 would maybe
Yeah.
be not too many, but still like a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's enough that it's weird looking, isn't it?
Yeah. Number one rule of Lovecraftian horror is just keep adding more
Yeah, more things.
appendages.
Are we
Yeah.
happy with the? I mean, we don't know if we're going to stick with this, but are we happy with these? Do we want more like clawed
More like
feet?
that, I think.
Oh, I like claw. Oh, what?
The snake body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the one below it? An insectoid again?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Oh, more boring. I like the snake one now.
There we
Now
go.
that we've seen
Snake
snake, it is.
Beautiful.
That is even more like that's really good as well because it's like even more of a juxtaposition in.
What do you think? Spikes down the back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, we can put fins on all of these arms.
Oh god.
One.
I
I think
feel like
that may
this
be
is slightly
excessive.
overkill.
Too
Yeah.
much.
Too much.
Seems too much.
I enjoy that it
You
still
know-
gives us the option and then grays it out to put something on the legs that he doesn't have.
We need to get rid of that shirt as well.
Yeah.
It's very odd. Oh,
So,
I don't know about.
I don't know about this whole. I don't know about this whole snake tail but belly button. Why do you have belly
Well,
button when it clearly
I
was
think,
egg?
I think this just means that we're doing a good job on the monstrous side.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
do,
it's a
Very
how do we feel
biological
about hair?
abomination.
How do we feel about hair? Are we happy with this?
I mean,
kind
I
of
like the greasy mop.
Do
Yeah?
like
I have to say.
greasy mop, but I think there are some other options that could help us as
Mullet.
well. No,
Oh my God,
absolutely
no.
not that.
So
Oh
this
my
is the
God.
kind of the Jedward look for
Yikes.
people. The Johnny
Yeah.
Bravo.
That
Yeah,
is
no Johnny
Bravo as well.
Bravos.
I believe that there are
what
some
about
for like the knolls where it's all like down the back and
Oh, I still don't like.
What about the metal mohawk down there?
The metal mohawk.
Heck
Tech
hawk.
Hawk.
Oh, that's weird. It just look. Oh, it doesn't look
we
right.
could. I think we've forgotten about something key. We could take off hair entirely and go all horns.
Oh yeah, horns. I think we need to remove the ears as well. No ears.
No
Doesn't
ears.
need 'em.
Can't hear.
Yep.
Oh
the
god,
head-
Voldemort. Damn, Voldemort. Really.
Wait, I thought Voldemort had no nose, not no ears.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Can we get
so
rid of a nose?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think we can.
Unfortunately.
Actually, I think there is a head.
Wait.
I think there is a
and
snake.
nose.
I think there is a
There
snake
is.
with.
Yeah. Wait.
Well,
Up there.
there's also the
snake head.
featureless one. There's the featureless one as well. If
Yeah.
you go up the top there.
There's that one, and there's also
With just eyebrows.
Yeah, that one. That one,
Just
and then we can
this
put
one,
eyes.
Or do you want?
No,
that
we
one?
can put our
Oh.
own eyes into the
Yeah.
one directly to the right of that.
Oh,
and make
what's
it
the
even
one
creepier.
above that? What's the one above that? Which is like like kind of weird creepy spot.
So that's like damaged features, and then we've got decomposing.
For some reason,
and
the
that-
damaged feature's face still looks inviting.
Oh, the brain less so, but yeah.
Yeah, but look, he looks
I
like
like-
he's just a businessman that is having a hard time of it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I don't like eyebrows on aliens. That's a new thing that
Yeah,
is haunting
yeah,
my mind.
I like the one which is like not entirely featureless, but mostly smooth.
Yeah.
That one. So
But
Yeah,
take
no-
away the eyebrows, please. Take
So
away
you-
the eyebrows.
But
God.
you think the smooth one, but no eyes, rather than
Yeah,
the one
'cause
where
it's-
got
'cause it's-
eyes.
Because
Correct.
it's kind of Slender Man-y.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
there you
it's faceless, no features on the features. No
Features? No features.
No features on the
No
face
features.
except like the dips where eyes would be and the extension where nose would be. A little mouth. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
So what do we want for horns then? Do we want just one big set of horns, or do
Oh,
we want like?
I find the
lots of
horns really weird on Hero Forge, I have to say.
They can be
But-
odd.
Like, I don't know.
I feel like the more they're sprouting from the head, the better.
Or like,
So
they're like stag ones, aren't there?
There
Yeah.
are stag ones, yeah. Like those.
Oh god. Oh, that's too much.
I actually think
Mhm.
what might be best here is to have like lots of little ones around, like a crown.
What, like, oh,
Like think
like a kind of like a Darth
Maul-y.
Maul situation, yeah.
Yeah. Where have we
Oh,
got?
eye stalks, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the eye stalks. I thought
No,
there
neither.
was one there. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh,
Oh,
crown of
Oh.
horns.
crown of horns.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, this is cool. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. That kind of fits
Ah.
Yeah.
And now it looks like he's got like a
Oh.
mouth on the top of his head.
in. More spikes.
Oh, I like the mouth on top of head. I like this.
Why do head have mouth on it?
Oh, I wonder
Why do
if we do
piranha have
that, we can make these look like teeth, and we can paint this. So for people on
Like a
podcast,
tongue.
but like almost like the top like row of teeth or like a bottom row of teeth on his forehead, and then we can angle this and paint this to be like a tongue coming out. Of
Joe,
his
you
head.
realize, Joe, that you indicating on your head, the people who can see that
Yes.
see Hero Forge.
So think,
Tongue come
Uh,
from center of crown head.
yeah, like a 45-degree angle back.
It's like a weird it's like a weird like shark tooth tiara with a big tongue
Oh, so-
poking out the top.
What we'll do
Okay.
is, it's Hero Forge. We can share links for this fairly easily. So we
Yeah.
send the links, Alex or Greg, you can tweet them out, or we'll make them available somewhere for people
Yeah,
to
sure.
have a
just
look at.
screenshot
Let's just hold on to him for now.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced many people will listen to it, but we can.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is
Uh,
gripping audio, I'm sure.
How do we feel in terms of?
Oh.
poses?
I think big and
Why is he
imposing.
dabbing? Why is he dabbing?
Wait, what about wings?
Oh, wings! I hadn't even thought about
Yeah,
wings.
like bat wings, maybe.
Because can they? I don't even know if mechanically the echoes can fly. I know Tavs can in our campaign, but that's because he can fly. Wings, because there are a bunch of wing options. They've added in loads.
Oh, we
of
want
great-
demonic ones, surely.
demonic. So we've got things like that.
that's
So those are the epic bat-like wings. We also have epic dragon wings, which are also quite demony. We can have tech wings and make him a mecha if we want.
Oh, we can give him pretty princess butterfly wings.
What do we think about beetle wings?
They're kind of cool. He's becoming like a weird chimera kind of.
Do you know what I'm
motherfucker.
picturing him as at the moment? Anyone who's seen Pan's Labyrinth, the guy with the eyes on his, like the palms of his hands, on his
He
face.
is that. Oh, the skeletal wings that aren't even.
Ooh.
It's like more arms.
Yeah. This is
Stitched leather
Lovecraftian
wings.
horror. We've done it.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
made our
Well,
own original Lovecraftian
Congratulations.
horror.
Cool. So let's
Yeah.
quickly.
And now just
we'll-
get one of your cats to walk over the keyboard and we'll have a name for it.
Oh yeah, and then if we just do like advanced pose to make the head look back down towards you a little bit. I
So
like
what-
come in
that.
for a
I
that.
hug.
pose.
Yeah, I
Like
kind of
that.
like that pose. Oh
that.
my god!
Jesus, look at all of these options.
Oh lordy.
So in advanced pose, for anyone who's not used Hero Forge before, usually you've got like your head, torso, legs, a couple of arm
Arms.
options, and then whatever gear you've put on it. We've put on no gear for this guy, and there's easily 15 options there more.
Yep.
Yeah, including all of the arms, the head, the torso, 3 tails, 7 horns, the wings. No, 8 horns, the wings, and the snake.
Do we
Body.
think
that's
at kind of like an angle?
And I think it should be looking down because this thing's going to be taller than everybody. Just looking straight down at whoever's there.
I think a tilt on the head is good though.
Yeah, a little tilt as well. Oh my, that looks very uncomfortable.
That is that posture is.
Oh,
He really needs a
better.
gaming chair. This guy.
maybe arc the back a little bit as well. Okay, now
I think that's weird because now he's just. This is less like looking down at your victims and more like slouched on the sofa eating Cheetos off your chest.
like bend back as well.
Oh god.
I think back bend.
Back.
Oh,
Oh,
help.
my back hurts looking at this.
Oh no, not that
No,
way!
please, no, other way, please, God.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's actually
okay.
that's getting good. Oh, my mind just thought he's got 6 arms. That is triple the amount of potential BO.
Oh no!
Like, imagine how much deodorant this guy's going through.
So I'm just
Probably not in all
conscious of
fairness.
how much time we're taking on this. So in terms
Yes.
I just want to say
acceleration,
that just from the shared screen, that red one looks like a lobster.
that one.
It kind of does.
It looks like a lobster.
Just a little
Just a little icon does.
Lobster energy.
I'm kind of feeling something like
Oh.
light like this.
Fleshy
where it's like
color.
See, I was going to say green or
horribly
grey or
flashy.
something. Oh yeah, maybe. Green is always good, or like pink in a kind of like too pink.
Well, there are as well. So if you go into, again, this is another tip for people who aren't as familiar with Hero Forge. If you find whatever color you want, if you look in the kind of like bottom right next to your paints, you
Demonic.
have like fill and
Mm.
different kind of brushes. So you can then play around with it a lot more. So if we wanted it to be like much paler. we can
Oh, that's good.
I don't like how the snake scales are also fleshy.
Yeah, that is weird and therefore good. Fleshy bits.
yeah, so these are more like flesh tones.
That's
Uh,
not red.
yes,
It's not
they
a flesh
are.
tone.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it just kind of it kind of goes.
This
on. We
terracotta
could-
is nice, but what I feel like that is the nicest color of the fleshy bits ones.
Yeah.
I want to see like, oh,
Oh.
the shine on that.
Oh. Yep,
Oh.
that's it.
So what?
Or the
what
red.
we're
What's the-
currently- the other
what's
red?
the
So
red?
this is
Yeah.
this is guts.
Oh,
No,
that
the
looks
other
very
one.
Gross, isn't it?
The other one, I think. Like it's just
yeah.
It's
Well, what we can do.
Oh,
How do we feel
Yeah.
about it?
oh god. Oh, it's
So,
nasty.
just for context, what we're showing is he looks kind of like he's both had all of his skin like flayed
Removed.
off.
yeah, it's got a decluffing
and
injury.
has some like bloody scales and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking with
He also
these
looks like he's got
horns and stuff.
He really needs to brush his teeth
So
better.
we'll do that, and then we'll kind of said we can just paint these with another color that we've got on here,
God.
so that
It
it is much
looks
more
so
like that kind of
wet.
crown.
That top
And then-
horn should be the red as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. So if we have that as like the gum,
No, I mean the deep red.
oh, the deep
I
red,
think.
the guts red.
Just the just
Yeah.
the tip of it, the deep red, I think. Then it's like the very
Oh.
end of it is the
Oh,
no.
Oh.
Okay, maybe the whole thing.
it really does look like a mouth. That's good.
I
It's-
fully recommend anyone who hasn't, who enjoys playing around in Hero Forge, taking a look at the Hero Forge Reddit,
Yeah,
because there are some geniuses on there with their posing and stuff like that.
Oh.
The
This
only other
is
thing I can think of
truly
before
nauseating.
we finish this guy off is, I believe that with the hands, yeah, we have different hand like positions.
Hmm.
So
They should all be doing the pyramid head, or not the pyramid head, the other thing with the guy with the eyes in his hands. That thing.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cool, that's fine.
I think they should all be playing rock paper scissors.
He'd be so good at it. He could
He could
play
play
with
rock, paper,
himself
scissors
3
with himself.
times.
I beg your
I'm
pardon.
trying to find. Oh, there we go.
Oh man.
There we
I
go,
feel like
guys.
I feel like
This
the
is so
tails should also be coming out to the sides, but that would take so much editing of the pose.
Yeah,
it's
tail
not
tail
worth it.
posing is horrendous.
Yeah. But just like as much of all the appendages just going.
Oh,
Just put on some kind of
Beautiful.
volcanic base.
yeah.
There we go.
And
So
by
this is-
beautiful, I mean truly horrendous, but
Yeah.
also
So this is
Toby.
Toby.
Toby. Yeah, that's Toby.
Yeah, it's just a Toby. He's a flesh
There you
man.
Now let's make a
I,
verb.
Yeah, I
This
enjoy that.
this thing is an affront to God, and I'm happy to have been a part of it. All right.
Right, where's the button to stop? There we go.
There it is.
Cool.
Simon,
Now let's make a verb.
a little magpie friend.
Yeah. One sec. Right.
God, I'm just switching between these two tabs, and they could not be more different.
Oh, we've done a
Right.
bad thing here.
Oh, I turned on my camera accidentally.
There we go.
Right.
F11,
Let's-
please.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with the species. Verb. Verb.
Oh, it's not moving.
Hmm?
It's not moving.
Can you see my?
I see. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Just doing it now.
Why is that? Okay. Weird.
That was
So-
but it's fine now.
Is a person?
There we go. Ravenfolk.
Ah,
is,
Ravenfolk.
I think the base for it.
Oh, hello, friend.
Man arms?
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, they don't
Man
really
arms.
have like a bird arm so much.
You'd think they'd have like
Yeah.
claws or something.
I think they do have claws. We can just switch the arms.
Surely they must have torso. Furry, lizard-like,
Animal-like,
animal-like.
I think is the closest.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got wings, obviously. Oh. Oh, I like
Quite
these.
like, yeah, I quite like that because
kind of raggedy.
they're almost sinister, and considering that he's just a nice little boy, like
Yeah.
Oh, you can also have them, like closed in like that
closed
as
ones.
well.
Closed or like small ones.
think
I will
those-
say, I feel like this comes up anytime Hero Forge is mentioned, but they really have done a great job since their like Kickstarter with
Yeah.
adding in new stuff. The coloring is a game changer. Like
Oh,
being
yeah.
able to these.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. Head. I can't imagine there's much to change on the head, really, is there?
Yeah, I don't think there is.
That's
pretty much-
unfortunately.
That's
I
a
think
bird.
they only have two other head options for birds, and they're down as being masks or hats.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, they're not actually faces.
Oh,
so
yeah,
one
I
of
know what
them is like
An
a
owl?
raven, or to be honest, it could be a pigeon. Yeah, and the other one is an owl.
Under head.
And they do look good.
Oh.
But
Oh.
yeah, I'm not sure why they're down as being hats rather than faces.
I guess
I
because
think-
they actually are hats, like they're like Egyptian headdress type.
I think they also had those before they had the option for bird folk.
Yeah,
They just haven't.
I think I like the default bird folk more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think
makes
that
sense for
fits
To
Matt.
be
quite well.
honest. Yeah. No hair, no beard, no eyebrows. It's a bird.
Give the bird eyebrows.
I will say it's a pet peeve of mine with like Disney movies and stuff. Where
What the hell?
horses.
It's not a
horses in-
monobrow. It's
A lie.
That's not a monobrow.
Horses in animated movies creep me the fuck out because they all have eyebrows and it makes
Yeah.
them really expressive. and
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's
Yeah.
because cartoonists don't know how to make animated characters without eyebrows. It just doesn't work.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh!
I double clicked by accident. Mistake.
Everyone's making today.
Give bird human teeth, maybe?
That's so
God, it's terrifying.
Can we get? We can't do claw, can we? From here?
Oh,
No.
No.
You
robotic
do clawed
claw.
robotic, but not clawed normal,
Correct.
because that makes
There
sense.
is.
Gotta
if you
change
go
the
into-
whole body.
If you go into the clothing on the left,
Sorry, I just changed that to yes.
clothing, and then if you go into
gloves, I guess.
hands, I think there is like a clawed one that's a bit more of like a monstery hand. I don't think it's a
That's
map,
right, yeah.
but I'm sure there is one.
I do not use glove setup. Oh,
Oh, there you
Ooh.
go.
It's just
Yeah, I don't think they're massively different, but they are slightly.
those are the same hands.
I think they're slightly
available.
better. They
Right.
they're bigger, which is weird.
Because it's a glove on top.
I guess 'cause they're gloves,
yeah.
That's weird because it's got that like
Yeah,
joint
you got
on
the
it.
seam. Pay no
Yeah.
attention to the seam.
It might be fine depending on what chest like.
I
going
think
up
they're
is.
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
Let's do an outfit.
Yeah. So what are you? What kind of are you picturing? Like a merchant clothes, or should he look raggedy?
I don't know. Give him a hood.
Oh.
That's great.
That's
Like,
too
'cause-
on the nose, I
'cause-
think.
Yeah.
Because
that's-
with
well, it's
some
on
of
the
like the
beak, but
masks,
yeah.
they fit weird around the beak, but the hoods totally hide most
yeah.
of the face,
Yep.
which makes them look way more sinister, which is great.
I can't really use the Gameston since you have essentially. It just looks weird. It looks weird anyway with the hat is so bizarre. Chef. Aw. Look at this friend. I fully adopted friend as a word from Nathan Yaffe. What a friend.
I love Nathan.
What a friend. These are all like modern ones, which is weird.
Yeah, I like the hooded one up top.
Yeah, I think the hood is probably right.
Yeah. Oh, if you just scroll back down to where you were.
Sweet.
I think they added. Yeah, let's go up very slightly, just up one from there. There you go. Travelers that also has a hood, but is much more like layered.
And it
know.
It looks more casual as well, so it easy to just mix up.
It does. I think I prefer the other one.
Go for it.
I like the hood better on this one for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, it's got more texture on that. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Good
there's a
stuff.
bunch of hood options as well. I will say that is something that they do very well. Like some things there's not really enough variety for, but the hoods they've got a shitload.
Oh.
Little bucket hat for him.
Little bucket hat. Little Loki hat.
Oh.
No, I think the cowl is good.
Yeah. Slow to me.
I love just going through and giving like just unexpected things.
Yeah, it's great.
Just like
Football
Like,
helmet on
it-
Burb? It's possible.
doesn't-
football helmet on
it doesn't-
Burb. Excellent
It doesn't fit
protection.
The aesthetic of lots of kind of medieval fantasy style D&D, but also a beanie completes a lot of looks on Hero Forge.
It really
Like, a
does.
beanie is
Really?
great. Yeah.
Huh. A little bit behind the scenes, Hero Forge on Felix. This is it doesn't work with the beak, but this is how we did Felix's face. Because we wanted it to be blank.
The fully
But no,
armored man.
the cowl is good. I feel like shoulder pads make more evil.
They're always so big in Hero Forge.
Oh, they're fucking
Yeah.
huge though.
Yeah,
Jesus
they're
Christ.
massive.
Why are they so big?
I don't know.
It's definitely the feature that I use the least on
Yeah.
Hero Forge.
Never use
like-
shoulder pads.
So big.
Because I think you can scale them, but I think they
that's
mainly only
fine.
scale up.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
only scale up.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Ooh, that's not that bad.
So that's a snail. Oh,
If you can
that's
always
really cute.
you can always unlink them so that you just have one as well.
Oh, and then it's like asymmetrical.
Then he's edgy.
Yeah. He looks so thin now.
Yeah, I forgot how small the shoulders actually are.
Oh, bless. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Chest. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of okay with this, but I
Yeah.
just want to see if there's anything that's more.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're onto a good one here. I think there is like a slightly kind of ripped up like
Oh
gown.
my god, it's
thing.
a Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, I just want to know if there's anything more raggedy, basically. Oh, well, that's quite raggedy, but it's probably too raggedy. Oh. That's so fucking weird. That's so cursed. Let's not go there. No, it looks like we're good. Tattered
If
jacket. But it's not-
if you scroll back down, I think there was like a tattered.
tattered trench or something.
No, I think it was like
cloak.
a jacket over a t-shirt. Oh, sorry. So just underneath the starfish bra is where I'm looking.
Don't like it as
Doesn't
much.
work so well with the hood, does
No, it doesn't. Neck? Oh.
it? Oh, like some sinister locket.
It'll
or
be hidden
something?
by
Or
the.
like a-
It'll be hidden by the cowl, I
Sinister
think.
bubbles.
Sinister.
What about the
The neck-
skulls?
The necklace might come down enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Excellent.
That's good.
Got some
Fur collar
sinister
with bow.
This is brilliant.
A little. Yeah, it's got to be these. I think that's got to be
Yeah.
right.
That's great.
Stuff. I think it's just got
We
some
want-
arm wraps right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those that you were just on are the arm wraps. So you've got
yeah.
those that go around as well, and then there's like looser ones as well. This is great.
What is this? Oh, this is
No,
Warlock. That's not
spikes.
fucking Warlock. That's Assassin's Creed, bitch. He's got to have something. His hands are weird.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think.
There are some like loose cloth wrappings in there as well.
Dragon Knight gauntlets. What is that?
They're a bit weird.
What is the
Pointy.
point of those?
I think it's to
Spike.
go with like a specific set, but they don't look all that good with a lot of things.
I see. Pro wrist. Oh yeah, pro forearm cast.
Early
I
access.
don't know if
They
that.
haven't-
I don't know if that would. I don't know if that
they
would
haven't
motivate me
perfected
to.
the cast.
Currently, all the bones are healing badly.
Yeah.
Oh god. Let's go up top and see if there's...
Those ones that are just
my
above
God.
the ones with like the bracelets. Yeah, those are like loose wraps.
Oh, they're just wrapping ones.
Shiny.
Shinies.
They are shiny.
They are shinies.
Maybe one shinies, one bangles.
Yeah, 'cause
Maybe.
you can unlink these as well.
Unlink.
Is there anything else that's fun?
I don't think there's anything else quite as shiny.
No.
I will say they do have ring options, but it's a lot of time to invest sorting out rings and
Yeah.
then doing all the rest of it.
Especially when you can
Well,
just
that's
click
some
one of the
shinies.
Yeah.
shinies.
I like that.
Ooh, those are. But then.
Oh.
I quite like the asymmetrical bit of that. It makes it look
yeah.
a bit more ragged.
Yeah. I like this. He got shinies. Leggies.
Armies
Leggies
and
are good, I
leggies.
think. Armies and leggies. I just want to see if there's anything particularly raggedy. That's raggedy, but that's kind of intentionally raggedy.
Yeah, I think it's
That's
more
weird.
armored.
For podcast right now, we got Burb wrapped up in cloak and hood with a skeleton necklace, a bunch of rings on the right hand, and shiny bangles on the left arm.
Yeah, it looks a bit necromancery,
Yeah.
which is absolutely great.
For what
I quite like
what
this, to be
name
fair.
is.
But
Yeah.
Social bar, yep. I don't know why they've added those.
Yeah.
And
Why?
also just
why are belts?
belts.
Just belts. Just
Yeah.
belts. Nothing else. Just a belt.
The less we question it, I think the better.
It's like, what?
Agreed. Yeah.
I feel like they need to ask themselves what the purpose of belt
Yeah.
is.
What do belt do?
I don't think it's what they think it's for.
I'm just trying to find if they've got like raggedy. But I don't think they have raggedy.
No, I think we found most of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very respectable.
Oh, that's a bit more ragged.
Yeah.
Ancient robes held up by rope.
Or otherwise known as a belt.
Yeah.
Anything's a belt if you try hard enough.
I guess so. Just thinking about the logistics of that.
Don't
And
think
I
too hard.
probably
I
should-
didn't.
Yeah, I noticed. What do we think, people?
I do
Felt
like
like
this one.
warmers?
I like
Beautiful.
what you've currently got, or the ancient robes.
Yeah, habit or ancient robe.
Oop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
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 Apparently he can't have shoes, so that's that.
There is only one
But he
item that I
Oh, why?
I don't. Why does that work?
can he? Why
do they
it
allow
doesn't-
this?
This works, but like it's not a Plague Doctor mask. It's just a normal
mask.
mask for him.
Under gear, there's this new sack item that I think he needs to be carrying with him at all times.
There's a raggedy cape.
Yes.
Raggedy.
But sack?
Cape. I think it's just a normal item that you can either carry in hand or under back items put on back.
Side cape and tri cape. Oh, that should have been added for Toby.
But he's not
Tentacle
wearing any other
mantle.
clothes.
Yeah, but like just make him into like tentacles or
All
something.
right. Yeah.
I could do that.
Flatten,
we
just
could've
make it
put-
flesh colored.
We could have put tentacles on the base. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, we could have that actually. Yeah. Does he need a cape? I mean, how is that going to work with wings?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the wings are the cape.
Yeah, I agree.
There it is.
Items.
There's the
this
sack. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
How does that work with the wings
And
though?
maybe hands for sack.
Apparently, you could just have two sacks
Yeah.
stacked
Yeah.
on top of each other. Yeah, that works. Wait,
There is, I
Ornate
believe,
handheld mirror on back.
well, all items can go on the back now. They
Mhm.
changed it so that all previously it was back, hands, and side, but they've now made it that all the items can go in all of those different positions,
Mm-hmm.
which
Oh,
works
that's cool.
nicely.
I kind of am tempted by the idea of just putting as many items as possible on him.
Go for it,
Just
man.
because he's
Just cover
collecting
him.
them all.
Yeah.
but I think that's a bad idea. It's just a funny
Well,
idea.
Maybe
I
just a
think
bunch of
that,
bags all around of them.
Well, the base items, some of them have multiple things.
Wait, say again.
So on the base items,
Rubber chicken on
some of
back.
them have like multiple objects that they put onto the base for you. So you'd be able to do that without like cluttering up what he's holding.
I see.
Can you put the
That's
large bag in hand?
Wait, how is it that eyes are not okay, but mouth is fine with a beak?
Don't question it. Why
Yeah,
do
some of these
Why does this give me
have
Thomas?
on the beak head?
It gives me Thomas the Tank Engine energy. That demon face.
Oh, it does. It does. Well, this.
Dun 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 dun.
Why
Just
are
really,
these?
just really
Why?
discordant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I got distracted by things. What are we doing?
I think Greg wanted
Giving him
him to
items.
hold a bag, or
Yeah,
to see what it looked like with him
Can
holding
the
the bag.
can the sack fit in hand?
Let's find out.
Is it even an
they don't have
option?
the big one. They don't have the big
Oh,
one.
is it,
The big
is it
one?
only an option
What?
for the back?
It's too big.
No.
It's too big
That's
to hold.
crazy.
That's
I was just
sad.
saying. I was just saying about they've added this new thing in where you can put it in all the
Yeah.
different positions.
They lied.
Also,
Oh,
how
wait.
big is this hand mirror? Because that's fucking. That's not a hand mirror. That's just a mirror.
It's a
You
desk
can hold a
mirror.
pouch.
I think a pouch works well. I think there's a few gem options as well.
Yeah, I think he should be holding some bag of coins,
Shiny.
bag of shinies, and a Geely lamp. Like, why does it look like he's watering flowers? That's not how you.
Spiky football?
Yeah, I'm
Why?
unclear on that one. God, they do have so many options. It's so
Hundred.
versatile. What are we thinking, Simon? Are you looking for something?
I'm
in
just looking for.
particular?
I'm looking for shinies, basically.
Yeah.
A scepter. You can turn the ball into a crystal ball.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And then there's a gem there.
Gem. Scroll. Matrix.
Psychic Matrix.
Yeah, just from the Kickstarter.
Ninja stars. Wow.
Yeah. No, they let people design a bunch of stuff if they donated certain amount on the Kickstarter.
Oh, fuck off! It's a bloom mic. Oh, fuck off!
I didn't understand that one.
Druid
Is that
Bard?
something that I should understand?
Like a boom mic,
Oh, that's.
but it's a bloom mic. Yeah,
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
we don't like that.
I like it.
Wait, why are these all under bag? Oh, it's a miscellaneous. that's why, it's
Miscellaneous,
not bags.
And
I agree that
see.
nunchucks are under fantasy, even though
Yeah, even though
they're
they're
a thing that
Yep.
exists,
I think it exists in the real world.
as is
Yeah.
the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
The sledgehammer, the mythical object.
Artifact level. Why
Yeah,
is
they're
the
not-
symbol? What is the plane? What is that for?
It's modern.
Modern,
Oh, yes,
modern compound.
planes. The
It's
symbol
the
for
modern
modern.
broadhead arrow.
Hmm You can tell
Uh-huh.
it's modern because it's got modern in the name, and that's it.
A modern fishing hook. A modern sickle, something that is commonly used
Yes.
in the modern
And
day.
a modern kukri. Yeah,
Yeah. Anchors only existed in the modern
Yeah.
times.
never
that's
seen
how
him
you
in the
hold them.
past. Yeah,
That's how
Yeah.
you hold them.
yep.
Slings, commonly
Uh,
known.
Yeah,
Commonly
commonly known
used.
for being invented in the 20th century.
Nunchucks, both fantasy and modern.
Mhm.
Okay, we're shitting on Hero Forge. We need to stop. We need to pick a shiny
Yeah.
and
Yes,
move on.
the modern wooden shield.
They'll never sponsor us if we make fun of them.
Yeah, we're well on our
I
way
think-
to being sponsored. Come on.
Make us the face of your next Kickstarter, Hero Forge.
I don't want to be the face of anything. Make Joe the face. I don't want a face.
Oh. Wisdom of the Six.
Yes. So Wisdom of the
Oh yeah,
Six.
give him
I
a shiny
believe-
staff. Yeah.
I believe that staff is modelled after the one that Irons All Gone has in the Overlord anime.
The what now?
Mm.
So there's an
The
anime
Overlord,
called
yeah.
Overlord,
Okay.
and it's about this. It's another one where like he's logged into a game.
It's an
as the
isekai.
servers are taken down, and so he just becomes the character in the game. But he's
That's
like
cool.
this crazy powerful lich man, and that's his like crazy staff.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It's quite entertaining.
it's a comedy. It is
Yeah.
to say.
Heck yeah.
It's
Okay,
ball-
so
It's just,
Yes.
it's just there. It's not held on by anything. It's just there.
it's
Heck yeah.
attached to his rope belt.
Yeah.
I say we
Balls,
keep
a
it.
thing that commonly is held on
Fanny
with rope.
packs. 2 fanny packs.
Hairbrush, a thing that he definitely needs.
Yeah. Gotta keep his feathers in order. Feather brush? Does that work?
I don't know. Bird keepers, get in touch, I guess.
I like the potion pouch thing. It's pretty cool. Cool thing for a salesman to carry.
Mhm.
Reminds me of the C1 potion seller guy that gave us all those weird potions.
Oh god, yeah.
That worked out very well for us.
Yeah, it did. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cassette player. Okay. Just have a smashed bottle tied to your belt.
Hey, you're saving it for later. Okay.
That's a small pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we do need to carry on because it is
Yeah,
pretty
we
much
do.
break time.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
we need
Whoops.
to come back in RP. So let's color him real quickly, and then we'll do that.
I just want to give him some pretties.
Yeah. Doesn't he already have rings on those fingers?
Yes, more.
I think they just lap over each other.
Yeah, I think they are just overlapping.
Yeah.
But they'll be appearing on the other hand as well, which didn't have any rings.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a good point. Wait, did I keep any of these? I did. Let's just give him an assortment. There we go.
One
which we
without
can't
a
see because
gem in
he's
it.
holding- We can't see because he's holding a thing.
Yeah, but we know they're there.
No, well, yeah, that's important. Piercings? Can't do piercings.
How? How?
That's how.
How?
Like that.
I don't know about
Yes.
that. Does that?
Don't ask questions. This is how. Just
But-
looks like he's got a board.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I can't recommend that in good
That's
conscience.
just like
Oh no.
his just mouth just wouldn't. That's just keeping his mouth shut.
Yup. Oh,
That's
that
just-
looks painful.
That's just a muzzle.
Poor friend.
Okay, no. Enough of that. Base. I don't know. Something.
Just cobblestone or something. Yeah, flagstone.
Cool. Items.
Oh,
So items. So you're on miscellaneous here. If you go to
so
all,
I am.
bags,
uh,
chests,
yeah,
bags.
you can have a chest.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's
Can
one
I
with
not
the
move them
mimic.
forward? Oh, I can. It's items.
You
B,
can,
isn't
but
it?
it's in all
Oh,
of
oops.
the. But you can have item. You can have 2 sets as well of items.
Yeah.
There you go.
Beautiful.
There we go. Oh. So much coveting.
It's pose.
Pose. I'm actually kind of happy with this pose.
Yeah,
to be honest. I'm
I
not-
think that
Yeah.
works really well.
It works, yeah.
Oh, actually, although I am tempted to like, yeah,
Come on, come get some.
the thing is that like he's not actually beckoning. It's just that the photographer
He's just
took the
got a
picture while
hunch.
he was just reaching down to like scratch his ankle or something, and the
With the
photographer
gold.
took the picture. Yeah, well, he's holding it. He doesn't want to drop it. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, this is good. That's color.
Color burb.
Well, he is a magpie, so it's going to be black wings. There's no way to do any white and black, is there really?
Not on. So that's like the blanket one. You can just take the paintbrush to individual bits.
I like this.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, I like those colors.
that's kind of.
Oh.
That works well. Crescent Lord.
Yeah, I like that.
I quite like this chromatic chaos one, but
I
think
do also
it's
like
too much. I don't know, maybe. What do you think, Joe?
I like the Crescent Lords as
Yeah, I
its
think it's-
own thing, but I think if you were to do the Crescent Chaos and then like change maybe the bright pink like money bag, I think. That
Yeah,
would
I
also
think the
work.
green belt as well, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh, loading in gradually.
If you go to
Um,
mix, you can just change those colors in particular. Well,
What?
on the left
Mix is
side.
on the left. Yeah.
Ah, I see.
You see like that green in the middle of the claw.
Oh, just as in like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can. Nope. Oh. Which one's that?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can either paint over them, or you can change the colors and like attributes of the
Yeah.
paint style that they put on itself. So, for example, you can make something that isn't shiny, or metallic, or see-through.
How do I do this?
So
I'm
just change it on the color wheel if you want to do it that way.
Is this? Oh, yeah.
So
How
that-
do you
wanna
like?
go
How do you like
super
shiny and shit?
Oh, so scroll down. Oh,
Cogwheel first.
maybe. Oh, try the settings again. Now scroll down. So
Yeah.
settings on.
Aha!
There you go.
Got it. Ah, I see. Okay, right. I'm assuming that this is. Ah, it's that.
That's the belt and everything that's in that color, not just the belt, just whatever that color's applied to, it does.
I'm just trying to find wherever the. Is there a picker thing?
Yeah.
There is.
Last one.
That. Oh, it is that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the high and the. Got you.
Yeah, highlights.
Oh, I like that.
Oh. Oh.
I don't know.
I like around the darker blue there.
I mean, obviously we can change the brightness of it a bit as well, I guess. Somehow. That poop green has got to go.
Yeah. Sorry, podcast. We're just enamored with the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty colours.
there's so much customization that you can do.
Actually, kind of-
Even if you don't play D&D, like I would fully recommend Hero Forge as something just to check out and play with.
Yeah.
It's great for characterization.
That pink has got to go.
Skin
Well, I think-
tone.
Skin. That's so weird.
I think with that one, honestly, I wouldn't even bother just like changing the highlights. I'd just change the whole thing.
Yeah, that's fair. How do you do that?
Just the color slider beneath the
Yeah.
block. Then
This mid is weird.
There you go.
that'll do. That'll do.
Sure, something.
Oh.
I'm just trying to get it to look vaguely like leatherish, and it's not doing
Well,
that.
remember you can always just pick one of the preset leathers and. do
Oh
it that
yeah,
way.
I'm being
Yeah,
stupid.
since it's just
That's
one
fine.
piece. Bop.
Hmm?
I said bop.
Oh, I thought you were objecting to something.
No, I do not object. Sugar bottle?
I think it was
Sugar brittle.
What?
brittle.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Sugar brittle.
Sugar, that well-known color. Brittle,
Yes.
that well-known
Mhm.
color.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone knows exactly what the
Correct.
color sugar brittle is.
Yep.
Carrion's looking pretty good here though.
Oh god. Oh, I like this.
Shiny.
That's the color. That's the color. I also think no, not quite. Right. Anyway, I need to get on and stop.
Yes.
Just
Yes, we should go on break.
we should.
I think that looks really good, mate.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Make sure you save them because that's a precious right there.
Oh yeah, nice one.
Beautiful. All right.
Oh, and you can see his shinies.
Yeah.
Shinies. Okay.
Oh, I feel weird about him having. Right. Let's just change that quickly.
Slushy
Showing a
bird
bit
legs.
showing a bit of sexy ankle.
Sexy, untanned as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, have you gotten this
Slightly
far
better.
wearing that and not gotten tanned at all? It's like that's the most confusing part.
That is particularly confusing.
There you go.
That's slightly better.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's
All right.
nice. Cool. And then we can go to break.
Yeah, let's go on our break and then we'll come back and we'll do a little RP as these characters with an old friend to people who have watched Backstory Artificer before. See y'all in a moment. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Hilton.
What?
Your
Oh,
glasses.
Yeah.
Make you look more like Elton John.
Thanks. They will untint in a moment. My dad and stepmom stopped by with 30-minute notice.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Don't you love when parents do that?
Yeah, panic clean. So no break for me, but that's fine.
I don't know if it'll be the same in the States because of the scale of, like, just in terms of size and people kind of however people feel about staying in state versus out of state. But over here, people generally tend to go by a rule when choosing unis of it's got to be close enough that parents can get there quickly in an emergency, but it's got to be far enough away that they can't just
It's a
stop
little
by
bit of an
whenever they want.
inconvenience, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is a house that they own, so.
I know
argue.
that feel, bro. Being in that situation. I had another house viewing on Friday for a place that I've put an offer in for. So
Nice.
I might have my own place that is actually my own place soon.
Very nice.
Wow, excellent. Can't relate. I'm an intern.
You're in London.
I'm an intern in London.
We can
I
forget
was saying
about
this the
it,
other day that not only have I had the price rise of moving to London, I've also had the price rise of no longer being a student. So I was a student in Scotland, and then I lived with my parents for a bit, and now I'm an adult on an intern salary in London, in central London as well, because I live in Islington and I work in Blackfriars. So I am.
Oh, horrendous.
It's yeah. The city is something else.
It certainly sounds it. We should do some RP.
And for our Americans out there, Greg, the city of London is different from London.
I have heard this. There's like Greater
Yeah,
London, and then there's like the inner city,
which is technically not part of London, is its own like little like
thing.
Weird political island thing.
Politics are weird. But yeah.
Anyway.
Let's do some RP. It's probably not going to be that much RP, honestly, because it normally isn't, and I never have that many questions. But it's going to set a little scene and let you guys go a little crazy with it. All right, so I'm going to talk myself through it a little bit because I was going to think of it over the break, but then everything got mixed up. So
hey, love that for you.
I thank you. So with the characters created, I think just like a normal D&D kind of situation makes sense. I do believe. Oh, what is? Okay, carrying. Yes. All right. Carrion Bird travel. You're both are traveling.
Carrion and Bird.
Yep, Carrion Bird. Tom and Toby are traveling to become a squire and eventually become a knight, correct?
Yeah.
And
that's what Tommy's traveling for. Toby just pops in and out.
Yeah, it's just there.
Toby's just having a good time.
Yeah. Who knows if Toby is actually his name?
Yeah. And
Toby's here to have a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, and Carrion
actually
is
here to
also
have a
traveling.
good time and a long time.
So you guys have somehow met up. You're traveling. You have ended up in a land where you have to cross a desert to get to the location that you both need to go to. And you travel in the desert for a few days. It's going well, no bandits or anything like that. And then you come across a incredibly lush forest just sitting in the middle of the desert. And it seems like it is... Oh, it's like ravines on either side. It's the only way to pass through. So you're like, all right, well, it's a little weird, but it's a weird world. So we're just gonna carry on. And you have to, yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. You have to bed down for the night. Everything's fine. You know, it's like a bunch of little woodland creatures and whatnot just flying through here. It seems like a totally normal forest. Nothing is off-putting at all except its very existence. So you set up for the night, and you all go to sleep. And then you wake up in what I can best describe as a cavern completely made of wood and vines and like dirt and moss falling through.
Cavern made of wood?
Yes.
Or as in there are trees in it, or like...
No, made of wood. It has the features of a stone cavern, but all of the stone is wood.
As though we were inside a giant tree.
Yes.
Or a low-budget theatre production.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Just a bunch of people standing around like this.
Well, hold on now. In this cavern, you are both tied to some seats. Tommy, you also see Toby tied to his own seat. Doesn't make any sense. That's not normally how this works, but it's what's happened. Also, your little chest.
Three kings dressed as sea creatures.
What is it? The sea king.
Are the three kings dressed as sea creatures? I was making a Love Actually reference.
Okay, I have not seen Love Actually.
The nativity scene in Love Actually. Where all the kids are in the nativity scene, but they've also all dressed up as sea creatures for no reason.
That's too deep a cut for me, Simon.
That's
a very specific reference.
I do not watch enough movies, unfortunately.
They did a Drawfee episode on it.
Did they?
Yeah. The Love Actually Dark Souls. Did you not see the Love Actually Dark Souls episode?
Oh, yes.
But the octopus boy.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes. Okay. It's all coming back. Anyway, nobody's dressed up as a sea creature. You're all just dressed in your normal robe, but you're tied to these chairs with chains, and around the table with you are a stuffed teddy bear, a taxidermied squirrel, and a like inflatable like penguin. They are not tied to the chairs. They're just hanging out. And surrounding the table is a bunch of mannequins in those weird poses that you're describing, just in all these weird and colorful outfits.
All the Hero Forge models that never got finished.
Exactly, yeah.
The land of misfit models.
From behind a curtain of vines and weeds, you hear, "I'm almost ready! Is everyone awake? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, all right. Okay. I am the Creep. I'm sure you've heard all about me. I am the Witch of these Wandering Woods. This is my cavern. This is Matilda. This is Puffrey. And, of course, Stephen. Who are you?
So what does this guy look like? Or is he's just a voice behind the curtain?
For now, it's just the voice behind the curtain.
Okay.
How is he gesturing to Stephen?
That's what confused me. I was wondering if he'd walked out.
There was no gesturing.
A fine tentacle, like.
There was no gesturing. You get the feeling they are completely unhinged, and this is just something that's happened. The feeling
that they were gesturing, but we couldn't see.
Yes.
There's like a slight shuffle in the curtain as an arm clearly hits it.
Yeah. You see a brown furred arm gesturing. Yeah. What are your names?
My name is Tommy.
Nice to meet you, Tommy.
This is my friend. This is my friend Toby.
Oh yes, he's very handsome.
And this is my new friend.
Hello. My name is Carrion.
Nice to meet you.
You can call me Carrie if you like.
That's very sweet. I like that. All right, I'm going to appear now, and I'm going to need you all to hold your applause until the end. She comes spinning out from behind the curtain is wearing a very shiny but like really messed up purple dress covered in all kinds of stains. Definitely some excrement in there, but it also has glitter on it.
Oh no. Oh.
She's wearing a tall purple witch hat with all kinds of creaks and bends in it, and with the little buckle around it, but the buckle's falling off. And she's got like a nice robe, swooshy robe over the purple dress. And she has unnaturally muscular legs and big floppy bunny ears popping out from the witch hat. And really, really messy dark black hair filled with sticks and leaves and whatnot. And a little rabbit nose, but the rest human features. She is a shifter bunny lady. And
I'm
obviously
I'm sure if you let me out of this chair, I could help you with some improvements.
Simon, already you have nailed this character. That was incredible.
Improvements because your dress is quite dirty, and I'm sure I could get you in contact with a refurbishment expert for.
Are you saying I'm not pretty?
Vintage dresses.
Are you saying I'm not pretty?
I did.
Applaud! All right, you're holding your applause. You listen well. Good. You, Tommy. What do you think?
This is the first time the Joe's ever corpsed.
Sorry, that has proper tickled me. What did you ask me? Sorry.
I said, you, Tommy. What do you think?
Oh, I think your dress is real pretty, ma'am. But what can we go? We've got some place to be.
Do you like the smell of my cologne? And she'll brush an arm beneath your nose. It smells horrible. Just absolutely horrendous. All kinds of bodily odors and other things that you're not quite sure of. New smells. Brand new smells.
He doesn't say anything.
All right, you, Toby. How about you?
Toby's just there.
Thank you. See, now at least one of you has manners. All right, so welcome to my tea party. This is the group's famous tea party. It happens once a year. We invite new guests every time, and then these are our 3 honored guests. Like I said before, Matilda, Puffrey, and Stephen. For these guests, we're going to need some stories from you. We're going to need your information, and I will share something of mine as well. It's offerings. These are very honored guests. Okay, so first things first. You are well-traveled people. Not many people come into this area unless they are well-traveled. So I'm going to need some stories of times that made you feel powerful. Let's start with Toby. Yes. All 6 of them. Wow, even. Okay. That is incredible. Thank you. Matilda will eat that one up. Thank you. Now, Tommy.
I like to think as well, by the way, that with Tommy seeing Toby as just like this handsome, he's just sat there being like in Tommy's eye, but the actual like monster is just incomprehensible to everyone else.
Also, just
wait. So does Tommy think that Toby has told a good story?
No, he thinks that he's just sat there like looking.
Thinks he's sensible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just also this tea table's like it's like a children's tea table, like something you'd see in like the corner of the room at the party for the adults, and you're all in like these tiny chairs. So this giant demonic creature is tied to this very tiny chair. It's beautiful. Yes, Tommy, please tell me a story of a time that you felt strong and powerful. Please.
Well, I think the best example of that would be this one time there's this guy in my village. His name is Cletus, and he was telling me about when he used to like learn sword fighting and stuff. And so he was telling me about that, and he had this really cool move where he'd like do like a stabbing, and then he'd like go around and stab him on the other side. So I spent all night with like my stick going like and practicing. And I showed him the next day, and he told me that I did it real good, and I'd be an excellent stabber.
She leans over to Puffy, the giant puffy penguin, and just goes, "You think that good enough for you? I didn't hear many adventures in there. They make you feel strong, though. You want more? All right, yeah. Oh, no, not like that. Come, Puffy. All right, Puffy's not satisfied. We need more information. What are you doing out here, boy? You're very young. Haven't your parents taught you better?
I'm on my way to be a squire. So I'm gonna be a knight when I'm older.
Of a great demon lord like Lucifer or Michelangelo.
No, his name is Sir Jones. He's just a local lord. I believe his name is Tom Jones. He does an awful lot of singing.
When this group was passing through my forest, I thought you were going to be a lot more entertaining than this, but you're just kind of normal.
I'm on my first adventure. I'm 11, so I don't know what to tell you, ma'am.
You've had 11 years to see the world, and this is what you've done with it. All right.
My village is very small.
Puffy, I'm sorry. This will have to do. I will help. I will give more of myself to you, Puffy. I'm very sorry. All right. And you, Carrie, tell me, have you seen the world? Do you have adventures to share?
I just want to say, my current impression based on your accent for Tommy is the waterbenders in the swamp in Avatar.
That's kind of the vibe I was going for.
Anyway, sorry. Can you repeat that last?
Yes, tell me of your adventures, Carrie. Have you seen the world? Done many unique things? I saw you have all these shiny objects with you, which I am very much enjoying playing with. And she's spinning your shiniest staff, just like in the air, like a devil stick.
Oh, be careful with me. No, please be careful with my pretties. Please put that down. It's very valuable. Very valuable indeed.
Right. She uses it as a back scratcher.
Oh, okay. Well, there was one time I was in Raven City for the Antiquarian Guild annual commemoration. You see, I'm a purveyor of valuable items of much significance.
Now this is exciting.
And I was at the Antiquarian Guild's commemorative event, and I was asked to show them my wares, and I showed them. I showed them all. I showed them all.
Explicit detail.
Well, there were probably 4 necklaces, and there's at least one goblet. I did have quite a nice staff at that point, but I.
And how did you use them to kill them all? How?
No, that was all the items. I showed them all.
Oh.
There were.
Oh. You just.
You see, it was a very exciting event for me because I don't really get very much opportunity to show my wares to people. They're never really very interested. It's a shame, really. They're quite interesting items, really.
Picks up a very shiny spoon, like antique spoon that you got, and just used to pick her nose.
Oh, please be careful with it. Oh God.
Okay. That one's sharp. All right. Stephen? How you feeling, buddy? It's... Okay, well... It's better than the other one. You wanna... Oh. Alright, Stephen. She picks up the stuffed teddy bear named Stephen and walks it over to your face. Puts it on your face. And that's it, hug you.
Oh.
Is that what you wanted? Alright, there you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, you've shared some stories.
That was pleasurable.
It was Stephen's request. Don't thank me. Thanks, Stephen. Oh, I mean, I feel like I have to... Okay. Well, once upon a time, the Greep, me, and my nutress Matilda, my friend nutress Matilda.
Excuse me, ma'am.
It's very rude to interrupt the story.
I have a question.
What's your question?
How do you get the in your name? Like, could I be the Tommy?
I was born with
England? It. You were born as Miss the Greep?
Not Miss the Greep, just the Greep.
Your first name is the?
The whole name is the Greep. The Greep has no family. The Greep
I'm sorry for
born from the mud and the earth. All right. Anyways, so the story of the Greep is actually very tragic. If you'd understand, this wood came by me in another world, if you do believe it. I found it sitting all alone on a rock in the astral sea. I came along with my nutress Matilda after losing all of my dearest friends in the world. And now I travel through all these worlds, through my forest, the wood, and we make new friends. We capture new friends, and we tell them our story, and then we bond. We build the best of friendships, and then they all leave me. That's all right. It's all right. Everyone has their lives to live and all that. The Greep is eternal and never-ending, but also the most beautiful creature in the world. Please clap.
You said that we were tied to the stairs, right?
Yes.
It becomes apparent that Carrion has fallen asleep.
Looks for the shiniest object, and just throws it at you. It's a square in the chest.
Immediately wakes up and just...
You're fun. All right.
and then just puts it down carefully. Don't ask how he got out of the ropes.
So this one time, she's not even phased. This one time I made a friend in a place just outside of Gamberton. His name was Fettuccine Alfredo. He was a musician, and he had many good songs for me. He was such a good friend. He was so good that I knew that his world had to bless the rest of the world. So please, tell me, do you have any hidden talents that I should know about? Toby? Oh my god, that's incredible. Oh, not like that. Don't. Oh, okay. We'll get back to that later. You can show me privately. Anyways, Tommy.
Toby was boasting about how good of a potato salad he can make.
Well, ma'am, I am the undefeated snowball fighting champion of my village. No one can build or throw a better snowball than me. And also, I learned my times tables the fastest in my class. That there was only one other kid in my class, and I did it faster than him, so I was the best at it.
May I ask a question?
Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah. What's times tables? Is that where you learn how to manipulate the universe through its time stream?
No. So times tables is where you got to count the amount of tables that you got in school, so that when it comes time for the harvest, you know how much space you got to like lay everything out.
Oh, I only have this one table right now, so I guess mine's easy.
So there's one table,
One?
and then you'd be like, there's another table, and then also if you do not have enough tables, you gotta know how much time it's gonna take for the carpenter to make another table. So be like, I got 2 tables, and then he's gonna need like 5 days to assemble a new table.
I liked hearing about your snowballs. That was really fun. How about you, Carrion?
I'm the best.
Well, it's funny that you should ask.
You have many hidden talents, I'm sure. You sound like a bird.
Because I don't really have any. I have rather a lot of items, but I just like shiny things. Then.
But what about now? She waves her finger, and all your items that are currently visible in the room vanish. What about now?
Oh.
Now what do you have left? Tell me of your talents. What is left? Now that all the items are gone? You're also naked now.
Oh. Nothing. Nothing is left.
Maybe. Gives you your clothes back.
Oh,
Maybe we should find out who really is the best snowball champion. Between the 4 of us. 7 of us. Sorry, I forgot that you existed. Waves your finger one more time. The whole cavern becomes an icy cavern, now covered in snow. Puffrey, Steven, and Matilda are on top of a little snow tower with snowballs in their hands. They're not throwing them because they can't. And then you two are in opposite caverns.
The game hasn't started yet.
Exactly. And then Toby is still tied to a chair behind the Greep. Like, all right, I'm going to count down from 10.
His 6 arms don't.
Yes. I'm going to count down from 10, and then we're all going to throw snowballs, and the one to hit the most snowballs on a person within 2 minutes wins. Ready? Set. I win! Okay, everybody back to your seat. Now both of you have no talents left. Now what?
I suppose I should go back to school so I can relearn my timetables.
Yes, I think you should. I do think you should. All right. And you, Carrion, now what? You have no items? You have no shinies? You have no snowballs?
Well,
What's your plan?
I will have to find more shinies. Somehow.
You're really a one-trick pony, aren't you?
Mr. Grape, I'm sorry to interrupt again. Do you have a bathroom that I could use?
Yeah, you're sitting on it.
Could I please have some privacy?
You know what? I think this will help. Waves her finger, and you're all back on the surface. In the desert. No forest anymore.
Still chairs?
Still chairs. Untied.
Still tied to chairs? Oh, okay.
All your stuff is there. And you have Steven there as well. Steven wanted to go with Carrion.
Oh.
It's just attached to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There's just a little.
Just made even more. Just Carrion made ever more creepy by no longer just being like a creepy robed magpie, but a creepy robed magpie with a teddy bear resting on his shoulder. It's just somehow just weirder.
The way I'm picturing it is like the thing from Rick and Morty, where it's like Rick is up against the devil, basically the devil is selling like cursed object, and Rick fixes them to actually be useful or something. And in his advert for it, there's like a talking baby doll that previously was, going to murder the family that it had gone home with, but now does their taxes. So he like presses a button and it goes, everything's deductible. And I imagine that is now Stephen, your teddy bear, but for like pointing out valuable objects. Like,
Oh, I like that.
Like the nearest treasure is that way.
But in reality, the grape is always with you now. I can speak through Stephen and Stephen through me.
But that makes Stephen valuable.
You could never get rid of Stephen, no matter how hard you try. And I know you try hard, but you never win.
The reality is, Karen does try hard. It's just that he can't ever sell anything.
Go ahead and try to burn me, I dare you. It won't work.
Carrie?
Yes, child.
I still need to go to the bathroom. Would you mind just if I'm going to dig a hole, if that's okay, and if you wouldn't mind just walking over there.
Yes. Just walks over there, covers eyes with wings.
Before you cover your eyes, you notice that there is now a tattoo on, like, right above Tommy's butt that says "Bad Guest." And if at some point you see on the back of Carrie as well, also "Bad Guest"
on the butt.
Yep. Toby's not back yet.
Oh, I hope Toby's okay.
Probably a day or two after traveling again, Toby does come back, looking very happy.
I.e., no different from normal.
Yeah, he's got no features.
Yeah. But the actual Toby, the Toby that Carrie can see.
In reality, he's unchanged, except all of the hands are doing this now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't actually have facial features, so he's just going.
Oh, what a friend.
And there's like a painted smile on him. Okay. Not a lot of RP, but yeah, that was a good time. Yeah, we have time left to hang out if you all want to chat about DBDnD or something. And I just realized this isn't recording, so we'll have to pull it from Twitch. That's okay though.
I think that's okay. Fine.
Oh,
that was fun.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Greg.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Time I will prepare better, hopefully.
That's fine.
It was still fun to build characters and whatnot.
This is unpopular opinion, I guess. I find character building a lot more fun than I find like the role playing aspect of this.
That's fair.
I thought you fucking nailed that, Simon.
Yeah, it was very good.
I had a few key phrases that I had thought I need to
show them all thing.
I'll show them all. Yeah, I knew I had to.
So good.
I knew I had to get. Actually, that was at the time. I had wanted it to be I'll show them all, but it was a spur of the moment thing that it was I'll show them all of my items. I don't have that many items.
Oh man, I love Toby. Because all I can see is that horrible Lovecraftian horror, just being like the sweetest creature.
Yeah, just a short break from tearing people limb from limb to have a kind of elder god tea party. Come to think of it, he doesn't even have a mouth to drink tea with. Oh.
No. Maybe he just like puts a finger in it and just absorbs in.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Oh no, he just pours it on the top of his head.
Oh, what? And
this has got the mouth thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
The grape makes me very happy.
Yeah, where did that come from? You said it was from an old. an old
Episode
backstory
2
Artificer did.
from 2 years ago. The fettuccine Alfredo was Alex's character.
Alfredo Fettuccine, that is good.
Yeah, he was a bard that was really bad at performing, so he had his hands cut off, and then came across a wish to get hands that know how to play. So he doesn't know what he's doing, but when he picks up the lute, it just sounds incredible. Like they just start playing on their own, and it's great.
I like that.
Yeah. In his situation, he was tied over a cauldron and was going to be cooked into a stew for Nutrus Matilda.
What is Nutrus?
So this is the squirrel, right? I think.
The taxidermied squirrel.
Nutrus.
The Nutrus is nothing. The words are all, they don't matter. Nothing matters.
No, that was fun. I similar to you, Simon, I really enjoy the kind of like the character building aspect of like the theory crafting stuff. Like I've got a shitload of Hero Forge models like laid out.
Yeah,
for
that's the stuff
characters
that I really
want to do.
I was saying in our, what is it, like 3 weekly experimental episodes, if we are indeed going along with that plan, there's a game called it's called The Quiet Year, I think.
Yeah, we're playing that next week.
That's what we're doing next week.
Yay!
Yeah.
I am a newcomer to that, so I'm interested.
I've never played it, but they played it on Trophy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched Trophy, so. But yeah.
So I'll
also,
Photoshop up for that, and we'll.
Yeah, there's a podcast called Join the Party. Our D&D, it's a D&D podcast, but the way that it's what's it called? Words, please return to me words. Flavor. The flavor of it is like superhero, like kind of slightly ahead of modern times, like kind of sci-fi city, kind of city of the future vibes. And the way that they created the city that the whole thing is set in is through playing The Quiet Year, because The Quiet Year starts with you kind of theory crafting the entire like kind of town history, I guess.
That's what I was saying, and Alex was like, I don't think that's going to be enough world building for cities. I'm like,
it's pretty detailed.
Yeah. I mean, it highly depends on the players, but it just just do good.
But yeah,
forehead.
It works for them. They've managed.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of like lore and culture and stuff in it. It's cool.
Yeah. I want to try to do something like that next week to show Alex that we can do that, and it's not.
I agree.
Work.
It's not going to work. It is going to work.
Yes.
Will I get more out of it if I watch some of these like draw free ones before playing, or do you think it would be better to come into it fresh?
I don't. I think you're strong enough improv wise to pick it up quickly, but it wouldn't hurt to watch an episode.
They're just fun videos, to be fair.
Yeah.
So like,
it's just fun.
If you feel like watching a long video, it's quite a long game.
It's 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah. So
I think
if you have 4 hours of something to kill, then
it's linked in chat somewhere.
Yeah, sounds good. Might put that on in the background while I'm working next week.
Heck yeah.
Cool. With that, I'm actually gonna head, if that's okie dokie, guys.
Sure, yeah, we can hop off.
I did not get a lot of sleep last night.
That's okay.
Fair enough.
So I will speak to you guys soon, and thanks again, Greg. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
I'm very much looking forward to whenever we're able to do the next one, because this was great.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Awesome.
All right. See you guys.
We should be prepared for these characters to show up, and Alex's
put
them in as little Easter eggs to surprise us.
Listen, I've told him that many times when we were back initially doing it, and he's like, no cross world. He's very attached to his world lore, but maybe we can all get through to him if we bother him enough. I would love to see the Greep show up as some weird thing at some point. Yes,
the Greep.
The Greep.
All right. Do we need to do an awkward wave?
Awkward waves. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.